Anti-derivative Jill.
There she is. There she is.
You know, I really wish they'd let us play music up here. Make these long trips go by a lot faster.
It's against regulations.
Yeah, I never understood that.
They just don't want us having a dance party when a proximity alert goes off.
See, that's a dumb reason. Because we'd already be on our feet, ready for action.
Welcome to Jill's.
Hello and welcome to Shore Leave number 29, where, I have you guys tell me about stuff that happens and things that are good. And so I hope you guys are having a good Friday. Oh, and also I got my first show interruption right at the beginning of the show. So I've had to...
Oh, my stars. Welcome to Anti-Derivative Jill and Supervisor. My name is Scotty R37, and we are pleasantly joined by PvP. How are you doing, PvP?
Well, I'm in a really good mood, actually, because I got my laundry done early this morning.
You just reminded me I have to do my laundry.
Hey, I didn't have any clean clothes. I had no towels. I had nothing, and I didn't get around to doing it last night. Stupid me. But I got up. I woke up at 6:30 in the morning. I couldn't fall back to sleep. I thought, you know what? I'm going to get up and do something useful. For once in my life, I'm going to get up early and actually do something useful. So I did. I got down there. The laundry room wasn't too busy. Got it all done by 8:30 this morning, and I'm a happy camper because I got clean clothes, in the hamper here. So yeah.
Well, I'm happy because I get to say hello to Edge of Time, FKHC 2005. Suzanne is also here. Hello, Suzanne.
Hey, Suzanne.
Suzanne, she's been changing her name and she's still Suzanne, but I think she had a different name for a few minutes and then she went back to Suzanne, but she changed her avatar, so that's nice. Also, hello to Jim's Landscape LLC. Congratulations on 7,000 subscribers. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And hello, Captain Affinity. You've changed, Suzanne. Edge of Time says if she wanted to, she would. If she won't, some other woman will. Drop that brokey. It's the current year. No reason in the world why a woman doesn't have a job. Fizzle, jizzle. Soft. Yetta?
Soft guy era?
What is that? What song is that?
Haven't the slightest.
No idea here.
I'm not hip enough.
Yeah, me neither, apparently.
I'm totally unhip, so.
Naladoc.
Hi.
Oh, ahoy and hello and hugs.
Also, hello to Gavin Blackburn. And Edge of Time says, pop culture valves release the hounds of discussion.
Woof, woof.
That's the point. And hello to Max Redstone. I wonder if...
Hey, Max.
Hey, Max.
I wonder if
Max.
Max is doing a countdown.
Oh, yeah, he's doing a countdown. Well,
That's cool.
Yeah, he's doing a Sealer impression. No, okay. Yeah, Twitter still won't let me send links out.
Wow, that's a bit. Wow.
Jill getting sandbagged.
Oh my! Whatever
Yeah,
thought.
yeah, okay. I sent some links out already, but if you're not one of the lucky people who I send links out to first, I guess I can't send out anymore. So I guess I'm done doing that. I
will give it a go in an hour.
An hour. Yeah, okay. I'll try again in an hour. It'll probably still won't let me.
I just hope it doesn't get any worse, in any way, lead to anything else, being blocked or that's kind of scary, actually, Jill.
Yeah.
Hey, Scogo.
Yeah, right. I've never
good. You're a good Twitter person.
Yeah, I spam invite links all the time, and this is the first time this happened.
Yeah, that's
where
weird.
I had to prove that I'm human. I'm not a replicant.
What? You're not a replicant?
Yeah, I know. Shocking news.
Yeah, really.
Skogly.
Oh,
Hello,
boy.
Skogly. And Matt G.
Matt
Yeah,
G.
surely that magical time of the week when I can give the investigators I have following PvP and Scotty a couple of hours off.
Thank you, Max.
Thanks, Max. It's nice to know that you care.
See, who is
Laundry.
watching the detectives?
Oh, that's a good song.
Hmm.
Elvis
Hello,
Costello.
Penny.
Good, nice Elvis Costello reference there, Scotty.
Thank you. Hey, Penny.
And hello to Kapla. Grella's Random Thoughts.
Hey,
From a flooded-
Gorilla.
Minnesota.
Oh, no.
Yeah, did you see
Yeah.
some of the
Yeah.
stuff that Gorilla posted on Twitter? Like, boy, they're having quite a time in his state there. They got sandbags everywhere. The roads are closed. Like, Gorilla says he's safe. I said,
That's
well, stay
good.
safe. But, gee, it sounds pretty serious.
So
actually.
is that because, Gorilla, you live a little higher up than other people? Max Redstone says, coincidentally, I am in the midst of doing laundry. You too,
wow.
huh? Yeah, so am I.
Gosh.
So am I. But because I'm going off on a very important away mission, having, people come over to do stuff and things.
One thing unites humanity: laundry.
And fried chicken.
Yeah, I haven't had fried chicken in a while, though. I gotta be honest.
Here, let's talk about what a terrible Premise Enterprise was. Premise Enterprise. What? You know what? Maybe it wasn't the greatest premise, but it turned out really good and fun.
It did take a while to grow on me. And it wasn't until the show was actually over that I went back to revisit it. But I do have a soft spot in my heart for it now. It's when it was released, because we were just in the middle of the Star Wars prequels being released. And when they said they were going to do a Star Trek prequel, I was like, please, why do we need a prequel? And unfortunately, 90% of the stuff that they put out now, prequels. Hey, Kat.
Yeah.
Hey, Kat.
Hello.
Hey. Oh.
Yeah. Well, Star Trek Enterprise was one of those anomalies where it's not a very good idea to do a prequel, but it ended up being charming anyway in some ways. There's a lot of good stuff.
Bacula.
Yeah, I like Bacula. Hoshi. Enterprise was okay, but they retconned Section 31 into the continuity. Yeah, and then, well, I blame that on Ira Steven Bear, and all Enterprise was doing was respecting the real Star Trek that had been interwoven into Deep Space Nine back into Enterprise. And, well, and now that's a part of the timeline. I can't take it out. Who watches the Watchers? Me. I am the Picard. Wait a minute. Well, yeah.
I didn't know you were talking.
He could get stabbed in the chest with an arrow and live. Wow.
Qui-Gon
Welcome.
wept.
Okay, first I want to welcome to the panel, Catherine. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. And also, Todd Michael. This is amazing.
Hello.
Oh, wait a minute. I used your real name. Is
That's
that a bad
okay.
thing? Do I need to cut it out in the editing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Batman is Bruce Wayne?
No, I saw Kat join. I Kat's like one of my favorite internet YouTubers. I had to come in and say hi.
Hello.
Are you taking hits? You taking hits there, or what? Why are you coughing like that, Kat?
I'm fine.
Oh, okay. I expect to hear that from Scotty, not you.
Fair enough.
Well, it's Friday. You
I
can
know.
relax.
It's the last day of my vacation. I'm just like sitting here chilling. I was like, oh, I saw the link. I'm like, I can actually get on a Jill chat.
But if I knew you were on vacation, I would have thrown out more Zoom links.
Oh, well. Yeah, I've managed to procrastinate most of the week.
Yeah.
Well, that's the point of vacation, right? Is to do nothing.
It's the first one I've had in quite a long time, and work is kind of sucky. So yeah.
Well, there you go.
Plus, it's 100 degrees outside. It's miserable here in the
Okay.
Midwest. So
Well, then why did you choose to vacation there?
because I live
Oh,
here.
Oh, because you
Yeah.
live here. Okay. So it's more of a
Why didn't
It's
you go to
more
the
of a-
French Riviera?
so it's more of a staycation then.
Yeah, staycation. Exactly.
Hello to Jacob Ironside. Hey, Matt G. Yeah. All right. No wake
G'day,
zones have been put up on all the lakes, so basically no boating. Yeah. Well, your boat would sink anyway, so good idea.
We could use some rain here.
He's right though. That is annoying. You go to a lot of lakes and like, oh, no wake zone all over the place. It's like I get you don't want a wake zone at the dock, but the whole reason you go boating out on the lake is to take the boat like a speedboat, go really fast and do all sorts of fun stuff. You got to be going like maybe 5 miles an hour not to leave a wake.
Yeah, the trouble is, from what Gorilla told me, they're basically like got some serious flooding happening there right now, and they're trying to preserve the shoreline because a lot of people live, I guess, along the shorelines of the lakes, and they don't want to cause erosion, so they've just put the temporary, ban on people causing wakes. So it kind of makes sense, I guess,
Oh, okay.
because it sounds like pretty serious from what Gorilla's told me. Like, it's. They got a lot of sandbag, lots of road closures. Like, it doesn't sound like fun times in Gorilla's, part of the woods. So, yeah.
Yeah, if anybody's in a place where it's flooding, I hope you guys are okay. Because I was kind of worried it was going to flood here, but it didn't. Because of the
good.
tropical storm Alberto, he did nothing to us. He went for Mexico.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Well,
Yeah,
not
we
for
got-
the Mexicans.
We got flooding here like 5 years ago in the apartment building across the street from me. They had to put everybody up in a hotel because the bottom floor totally flooded out because there's a creek, like a couple hundred yards from here, not too far away. And it flooded, just filled the whole street with water. It was bad. And so, yeah, a bunch of people had to, evacuate for like a month, while they tore all the drywall and the carpeting out. And it was not fun for sure.
Gavin Blackburn says, I was disappointed with Enterprise because a few episodes in there had already had phasers and transporters, and it became familiar very quickly. And so this is why I should probably look into the production of history of Enterprise. Was it the case that the writers were like, well, the audience is too stupid to understand it's Star Trek if we don't include all these things that they know?
Well, and the phasers that they had in the first season, they were phase pistols. They were just being introduced, and the transporters were only checked out for cargo. They weren't for people.
But
And-
in the very first episode, they used it
Yes.
for people.
But then
Well,
there
and it-
was,
but that
the
was-
ship had what torpedo, like some form of older torpedo technology or something, didn't it?
Yes.
They made a big deal about that when it got an upgrade from somewhere. It's been too long since I watched it,
But and the initial, from what I understand, the initial conception of it was that the development of Enterprise and the training of the crew and getting to know everybody was supposed to be Earthbound for the first season, until they said, no. That's why it was Enterprise and not Star Trek Enterprise, is because they were going to introduce Star Trek once they actually got to the stars.
Shove that
And
Klingon
so-
in the first episode.
Oh, Clang.
Clang.
I love
Clang.
Tiny Lister, but what weird.
Clang is a great name for a Klingon. It's heavy metal Klingon. Clang. Oh, God.
Here's a question. Do you guys think the show, saying it's a success or not a success is kind of hard because it clearly wasn't in the long scheme of things. But do you think it would have ended quicker if they had gone the original route of being Earthbound for that first season or so, or second season?
I don't think it would have helped. I think that's why they probably went, dropped that idea, because I think it might have been a little too slow paced in the development of the scenario. If they'd gone like for a whole first season, I could see doing maybe, half a dozen episodes based on Earth to start the series, but a whole season, I don't know. But I mean, it's hard to say, right? Anyway, sorry, Scotty, you were going to say something.
Oh no, I'm sort of on board with you. I think that it would have been interesting in retrospect, but I think that the backlash against it would have been much harsher if it was like, what am I doing watching a Star Trek show when they
Right,
don't even check
exactly.
for the stars?
Exactly. If they were mad at Deep Space Nine for being a space station, how upset would they be? They're on Earth.
For
Now we
sure.
don't even have a space
Because
station
fans
anymore.
suck.
No.
Fans don't like change of any kind.
This
Then
is
when
true.
there is change, they complain about the change and say, "Oh, it's lore breaking." Oh, that's the truth.
And
We all
well,
are like that.
and there are some problems like that with Enterprise, but ultimately it's a good time.
Well, it's like people want the classic Star Wars, and after the prequels, and that was the entire reason for Episode 7 was to go back to something that was more akin to the classic trilogy, the original trilogy. And now, years later, when most fans are starving to have the same thing done again, they don't want the change. They still look back on Episode 7 and revile it by saying it's just A New Hope made over again. And it's like,
Hey,
okay,
I hear
so
I hear the Alkaloid's doing really, really
And
good.
it's-
Fans are loving the Alkaloid.
yeah, the Alkaloid.
Is Alkaloid? Yeah, Alkaloid. Yeah, the Alkaloid.
Yeah, they're loving stepping on it, I guess.
What was the
I
rating?
know.
I guess there's some fun. At least they find some fun in it. And
What was the rating? 13%
Not
on
like it.
Rotten Tomatoes or something lately? The latest.
Yes.
We've been
Yeah,
watching
which
it,
is
but
pretty low.
I just find it looks cheap. I
Oh.
think for $180 million
It does.
series, it looks incredibly cheap. And I mean, I don't like it. I don't dislike it. It's just kind of it's there, and I don't know.
We
But
can
I just
continue
can't.
this conversation. I just want to say hello to your Muslim uncle. He's saying hi here. I wanted to make sure I said
Hello.
hi to him back. And also, yes, that's it.
You guys
Go
don't
ahead.
talk about the dragon shows much here, do you?
I kind of quit the Dragon show when it went off the rails in Game of Thrones. So I
Okay.
never got back. I've not tried the House of the Dragon, even though
I was just
hear
trying to
it's
figure
great.
out how much their budget is because we started watching that. We've only watched the House of Dragon. We never watched the other one, but it just looks so phenomenally better than anything Disney has put out as Star Wars TV. It's mind blowing.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I would be willing to bet it costs less. I think that is possible. But I'm not sure.
Well,
like you said.
wasn't
I
the
don't
Rings
know.
of Power like their most expensive show of
Extremely
all time
expensive,
ever?
and it looked terrible too.
Yeah, that was Amazon, and they're just printing money practically, and they didn't have good artisans on it. It just looked really digital and really fake.
I think a huge amount of their money went purely to the licensing of the material.
Oh.
And then, I mean, that's what I suspect, but
And firing the actual people who know what they're doing.
oh, it's a total shit show, if I may use my Polish.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
I don't understand why you would do a show like that, but we have nothing but the appendices of a book, and we're gonna just do that. What the hell?
Well, the issue there is that they didn't even have the rights to adapt this part of the lore they were trying to adapt.
No, not at all.
So-
None of it.
Right, so it's like you should just go back to Return of the King because you do have the rights to the appendices there, and just do an anthology series based on that, and it'd be fine. But instead, they're like, no, we're going to pay an exorbitant amount for the licensing fee just to use the name in the universe, to then on top of that adapt stuff that they wouldn't give us the rights to because the literary estate has never ceded those rights.
Yeah,
And that's
they're
why
totally
people didn't like it. Yeah, it's like I remember like when those movies came out, you could go into any store like a Walmart or a Costco or whatever, and you would find all of Tolkien's books stacked high along all the tables because it was like a big pop culture phenomenon, and they just underestimated how many casual fans actually know the lore and how much the popularity of the rest of it actually grew when those movies were out. And they figured, oh, we can just make up whatever we want, and as long as we have the Rings name on it, it'll sell. And, well, it doesn't. It's like it's not made a single dent in pop culture whatsoever.
And it would be possible to do something like what they were trying to do, but the people making it actually have to be fans and care about the material. Like Star Trek Continues is a great example of how to do it right. But before we continue, I want to welcome to the panel Max Redstone. Hello.
Hey,
I
Max.
Hello.
Hello.
managed to get a link to him.
The power of one, the power of two,
The Power of Shame and Kathleen Kennedy's bodily features, which I shall not mention here because we want to keep it PG until Jill breaks
that's a
that
good
barrier.
idea.
So,
Well,
hi, everybody.
it seems to be okay so far. Hello. I think this one is about Star Trek Enterprise. You say there was an episode where they tried to beam people while they were in a tree. And they ended up having leaves inside of them. What? I don't remember that.
I don't remember that.
Wow, that doesn't sound very comfortable, I gotta say.
Well, I mean, no, it's like they didn't go. I think it's been a lot.
It's been a long,
yeah.
long.
You know what? You know what, Scott? Yeah, I was going to look at the screen and say, "Don't." Not
Sorry.
me, not you. But no, they
It's
didn't.
just
They
low-hanging,
didn't. It's been a while since I've watched the series, so I know they didn't just say, "Well, we've got this technology." It wasn't like in Blake 7 where they're like, "Oh, look at this! They got a thing in a space and ring, and we got these bracelets. It's got to be a transporter." So, but no, they really eased into it. So, they really eased into it, and they like pushed the concept in the story that it's not quite perfected yet for humans.
Right. Which was fine. I didn't mind seeing those burgeoning days of early transporter technology. And then they had what is the name of the actor? I love him. He was in That Thing You Do. He was in Demolition Man, but he played the inventor of the transporter, and his son had been like, lost in subspace. And I think that was in the 4th season. And so things were sort of on the slide. But I still love that actor. I think it's Joe Cobb, maybe. I'll take a look.
Yeah. Booger 414 is here. I gotta say hello to him. And did I say hi to Matt G yet? Not sure. But Booger says, right, schmites. Just make up your own woke crap that Tolkien never would have thought of. Yeah, right. I mean, they already have their idea of what they wanted to do for that. They could have just created their own weird fantasy thing, and because that's all they wanted to do to begin with. All they were using was the name recognition. And that's all they really do. They have to use they're like, oh well, it's not going to succeed unless we put Lord of the Rings on it or Star Trek on it.
Yeah,
make neither.
Yeah, it's it goes without saying. It's if you're the whole premise of hard science fiction is what if this, and in order for that you need story, you need characters, and once you get that, then you can futz around with topical stuff like agenda.
Yeah.
Well, and not only that, but also if you do sort of subscribe to the platform or the property, what if is curbed by the world that you want to market first and foremost, which is, that hamstrings a writer right there by saying, oh, maybe there's an alien race and they're a bunch of warriors. Oh, we have those. They're called Klingons, but I don't want to do Klingons. Well, you have to.
So, yeah, it's like, well, I don't want to do Klingons. Well, it's like then it's like then you just a showrunner needs to be like responsive, like and get a little like Lee Marvin. It's like, all right, well, if you don't want to do Klingons, well then go write for another show. Okay, I'll do Klingons.
Or yeah, and I'd say that sometimes the solution is to create a new alien race, but unfortunately, sometimes that means you get a Kazon, and I don't like
that. It's hit or miss, but yeah. Sometimes, and I just edge of times, I guess gotta say hail to the Yup Nub because I don't like the Ewoks, but I'm a sentimentalist and an originalist, and I love the Yup Nub.
Oh, I love the Yup Nub.
I have the lyrics to Yup Nub. It was to Klobby's chagrin. It's to Mark D's chagrin. I have the lyrics to Yup Nub. So,
have you ever tried to make them sing it?
I have put it in the chat.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Manifold. There have been blessed and manifold attempts to put it in the chat, and he has read it, but he has not sung it.
Yeah.
We will see this weekend. We shall see.
Burger says, "Wait, was that Scotty saying to keep it PG?" No, that was Max. And welcome to Max. And hello to Dadman Walking 55. And I have to give a big thank you to this amazing gift from Eugene Bird. He says, "Hail anti-derivatives. May you be blessed with inspired pop culture programming." That's extremely generous. Thank you. Thank you, Eugene Bird. And oh wait, what should I play for Eugene?
Well, hopefully it's something really good for that's a very generous donation. I got to say there, Jill. So
I don't know what does Eugene like.
Pressure's on. Find a good one.
What does Eugene like?
What does Eugene like?
Well.
Yeah, that works for me.
You like it? You like the slave girl? Oh, I like the
Green
slave
Lion
girl.
Yes.
There, I have a few more. Let's see what else I have.
Let's see some of your Discovery clips.
Well, I could do.
I have any of those?
No.
I could give Eugene an original, first draft of an original polar bear inspired musical I'm working on. It's called. Well, here's the first bars of the music. Here's the first bars of the opening number. Snort a poopus. I don't have any more lyrics, but I just came up with that, so that was for you too, Snorty.
Oh yeah, hey, thanks for letting me know. Snort a poopus cute birds here. Yeah, and that works for me.
A dream that made Mr. Spock and me brothers.
However, what he says is logical, and I do, in fact, agree with it. Captain Garth.
Lord Garth.
I don't really know why I'm stuck on whom God's destroyed today. Like, I don't like this. I don't like when she says this.
Why can't I blow off just one of his ears?
Oh boy.
Well, hey, if it worked then, it works now.
Also, I have a series of tantrums. Let's do that, and then I'll be.
Oh, tantrums.
Oh, there's one more. I should put them together.
Let me alone.
There. Also.
Please, Spock, do me a favor. And don't say it's fascinating.
No. But it is interesting.
Oh man, you gotta love DeForest with that eye roll. Gee, that's so good. Brilliant.
Yes, agreed. Now where were we before that? Enterprise kept the spirit of Trek by having great characters. Yes, agreed. That's a good point. Your Muslim uncle and characters do make a difference.
Yeah, that's the thing. It did have the spirit of Trek, right? So that's why we still consider it, within the canon. At least I think most people do.
Yeah, and I kind of like how Enterprise kind of looks like technology that we might be able to use today, except for the transporters and the phasers and stuff. Girl and the warp drive. Girl of the Random Thought says, "What, Jill? You didn't like the Klingons that you order from Wish?" Yeah. Yeah, no, the on Saturday Night Star Trek we called them, what do they call them? Kmart Klingons. We'll make up a new alien race and call them Gonklins. No one will notice.
Not with this latest brand of shows. No one would.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Zap us with 7 seconds of the yub number. Says every
Yep.
time.
Yub nub. It jab a yub nub.
Nice. That was less than 7 seconds, even better. What about creating a bunch of alien polar bears? Oh, that one's from Snortophoobus. I think he already has ideas on that about living on the moon.
Lunar
could-
bears?
Yeah.
Lunar bears.
Yeah, they could have cast me as the transporter operator and have naked women being beamed all over the place.
that kind of reminds me of the O'Brien cartoon where the O'Brien cartoon where Keiko has herself beamed into Riker's headquarters.
Oh, are you talking about O'Brien at work?
Yes.
That's that's how I started my shore leave. I was
Oh,
talking about that
okay.
comic strip.
I mean,
The,
is there another O'Brien cartoon?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if there were another one, I'd want to know about it.
Me too.
I had it paused. What are you referring to? To Eugene Bird. I don't even know what Eugene Bird was referring to. The Orion Girl. Yes. Seems to work. Busy backs. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Right. Okay. I'm reading the private chat out loud. That should inspire confidence in my panelists.
You know what that's from, don't you? You got kids. Come on.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh. Oh,
Sign on the misspelled sign.
yeah. That's cute. Yes. Yeah, I'm just right. Yeah, I do. So, well,
Post-its. Anybody got any post-its? I need a post-it.
I have lots of post-its. I bought a bunch,
I should
but
say
my
Matt
kids
needs
are
a
having so much fun with them.
Well, let's see. I might go to Staples today and pick up some like clear. What I want to do is, well, what I would love to do is I've opened up the Diamond Select communicator, which Jill so generously sent me.
You won it, fair
well-
and square.
Well, I know that. This is a mutual admiration society. Darn it, Jill. Don't. I opened it, and what I wanted to do is ideally reprogram the electronics to put Clobby's voice in there. I'm not going to be able to do that by tomorrow morning. However, the little spinny thing on the communication speaker, I can print up something to put in there to give it a little bit of clobbiness.
That's a lovely
So-
idea. And so since you mention it, it will be, I know a lot of people can't actually make it out to Louisiana for Clobby's memorial service, but it will be live streamed. And I know that it will succeed because Mark D with the C is on the case and he's really great with that kind of stuff. So yeah. We want to pay respects to the memory of Clobburn Times. It'll be on his channel. See, let me get the link to it. But that's really great that you're finding ways to remember him like that. That's a really creative idea.
Yes. I just I've been yes. Thank you. I also found my Amok Time t-shirt.
Oh, nice. That's really good.
And yeah. And it's like cuz right now I'm like right now I am in the midst of cleaning out stuff, and cuz by the end of the year I am looking to hopefully I will find a new place to live by the end of the year. We'll see. San Diego went from being the most unaffordable. We went from being the most unaffordable housing market to the most impossibly unaffordable housing market in America. So, but for now, I can do my best to get rid of like what little stuff I have. So
yeah,
yeah,
downsizing and stuff, and
yeah,
deciding what you need.
yeah,
Makes
and
sense.
also my aunt is moving out here, so there's still some stuff in Chicago that will be coming out. So it's
Oh,
family stuff logistics. It's like, did you ever hear the George Carlin routine about like stuff? It's like, you just have a house. Why do you have a house? Because you need stuff. Because you have to have a place to put your stuff. That's it. You get more stuff, you get a bigger house. Why? Because you have more stuff. Maybe you have too much stuff. And then what happens? You get a storage unit.
yeah. I would hope I try not. Yeah, the storage unit thing. If you've got a storage unit, then and you've got to downsize a bit.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
you
yes.
do, because I've got it full of my toys for the last 15 years.
Good Lord.
$110 a month for
Good
the last
Lord.
15 years for toy storage. Yeah, it's great.
Mm-hmm. Do you at least like have?
Well,
them set up
I did not know that.
Oh, we haven't talked about that, Cat. That's where all the Transformers are.
No, I didn't. I thought they were like in boxes in an attic or in the garage or something. But I didn't know you actually could
They were in a storage unit.
Jeez.
$50,000 worth of Transformers in a storage unit. Yeah, it's great.
Oh,
Oh,
well,
wow.
then that's the reason.
I
you're
regret
keeping
my
them. That makes
30s.
sense.
I regret the money wasted in my 30s. I'll just say that.
You should know that all those storage units are owned by the Decepticons.
It's full of Japanese exclusives. All my
Well,
bullshitty. It's embarrassing.
no, you know what? That entire business is built on the power of indecision, on the indecision that's built into the American dream, for lack of a better description.
I could buy into that. Yeah.
So
I don't know many. I still see people buying toys and of all pop culture genres and stuff, and it blows my mind because I realize how much I've spent and wasted. I'm like, oh my God, that could be 2 kitchen remodels.
well, let me ask you this: is it like, because my first job was working on a trading floor? Is that 50,000 that you've spent, or 50,000 that it's like that liquid value?
It's probably if I could get what it had, value there, it's probably 50,000.
Okay,
I probably spent 20 grand over the 15 years I was a heavy collector. Oh yeah,
I gotcha. It's like I'm always like curious about, because I have like, there's in the storage unit back home, that in storage unit back in Chicago, there's stuff that my sister and I collected, like back when I think it was when TNG had like action figures.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like when they just like destroyed the market by flooding it. And it's like, okay, this is like worth, it's not worth like F all, but still it's no.
Very little what I have has any sentimental value. That's what's sad.
Okay.
It was the addiction. It was the 2000s when we would on a Saturday go out driving and we'd hit every place that sold toys. It was the quest, the hunt to find the new thing, and that addiction for years was pretty heavy.
Ooh, okay. My closest analog, just thinking about it, is like, I remember when they had the Beanie Babies, That's
Mhm.
like they had the
Oh,
Beanie Babies. And
that's what I was gonna mention.
Yeah, when
At
they had
least
like
you didn't collect Beanie Babies, is what I was gonna
it's
say.
like when they had the Beanie Babies and they had the Beanie Babies and the Happy Meals, and it'd be like I would drive by a McDonald's and there would be like a line around the McDonald's, like, oh yep, okay, yep. So yeah,
Yeah, I think I still have one of those from one of my Happy Meals. It has a little chicken nugget on the front of the
Oh, so
little teddy bear.
they were customized for McDonald's.
well,
weren't
they were
generic?
just they were just the thing, the fad, like Cabbage Patch Kids
Oh, I
in
remember.
the 80s. You know, it's like they were the thing.
Well, yeah. How do we sell this ugly doll? Sell it with this adoption paper. You know, it worked.
Yeah, it was crazy. I remember that craze. Like it was huge for a while there, and people were like collecting these things they were like investments for their future. And then, of course, the market pretty much collapsed after a while, and people were left with all this, crap basically that they paid
It
money
was
for
like the
that had
comics.
no
The
value.
comics in the 90s was the same way. It just
Oh, yeah,
infiltrated the entire comics industry with
yeah,
exclusives and foil and bagged and this and that. And it all was worthless. It's all
yeah.
quarter bin stuff.
It was just marketing basically, and
Mhm.
I bailed out of comics in the early, I guess, in the early '80s. Because I went to college, and I thought, well, I don't have time for comics anymore. I even back in the '80s, I saw the quality of the comic books going
Yeah.
downhill at that point, so I just bailed. And
Yeah. I mean,
'cause I was a big collector. in the
I
60s,
had 18,000 comics. Those have been gone for
Wow,
many years. Yeah,
that's
those
cool.
I got sick of lugging all those long boxes around from
Mhm.
apartment to
Yeah.
apartment and then house to
18,000.
house.
18,000.
Yeah, I had probably about 1,100, I guess, at one point, and I sold most of them off like about 5 years ago on eBay, and I actually got a really good return on the investment because I was, when I was buying comics, they were like 12, 15 cents, 20 cents, 25 cents, and I ended up selling a lot of them on eBay for like 20, 30, 40, $50 a pop, like per issue kind of thing. Because
I made nothing on them because I wanted them out of my life. There
okay,
were people that there was stuff in. I mean, I kept my golden age stuff and some of my silver age stuff, but like
mhm.
everything from the 70s to the 80s. I mean, we're talking peak X-Men years, things that. And I
Oh gosh,
watched. We sold it at a local toy store, and I just needed to get rid of the stuff. And I finally just
mm.
I would watch these dealers go through at $1 each and grab these things and take them back to their tables and mark them up to $100. I mean, like, I
Oh,
just need this shit. I need it
oh,
out of my
that's
life.
painful. That's
Yeah,
so painful.
it was sad, but the amount of work to get the money out of it just didn't equate to what I was willing to do.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's
Yeah.
just good to
Yeah,
clear
that makes
stuff
sense.
out.
You would have spent years selling all that
Oh,
stuff.
it's like that's why those toys are sitting in the storage unit. It's very hard to purge that stuff.
Yeah,
To get any
That's
money for it of
your
any kind of
that's the
Muslim
product.
same
your
thing.
Muslim uncle says my toys are in the storage too, and it makes me very sad. What were you gonna say, Kat?
That's the same thing with classic car restoration, which I'm
Yeah,
into. It's
exactly.
like the husbands will die, and then the wives are too old, and they don't want to take the time to parse it out and realize how much money it's all worth. It's like, just get this shit out of here, and then they'll just sell it to whatever charlatan comes around and gives them like maybe a 5% value of what it's actually
Well,
worth. But
yeah.
they don't care because they just want it gone.
Yeah.
Don't forget, I also am into classic cars, and I have all that stuff in the garage in my car.
Yes. I like, long story short, when in 2004, when my parents sold their house, it was just it was a whole saga. And the last week I moved in. I stayed in Chicago for 5 years. I had a one bedroom, one bathroom house, one bedroom, one bathroom apartment in the city. And the last week before the closing, I ended up taking a Ford Explorer's worth full of stuff just to my apartment every single day. And yeah, I lived like a hoarder for like 5 years. It was outrageous. It was horrible. Like
a clean hoarder, though, right? Like,
well, not
you're
yeah,
just,
no. It wasn't. It wasn't
just like so much stuff.
Yeah,
Just-
it wasn't.
just
It wasn't
boxes and
like.
boxes.
It was just. I mean, it was cluttery. It wasn't like on the show. Okay, it was like it was just it's just like stuff. Yeah. It
Yeah,
was,
exactly. When they do
you know what
that
I mean?
TV show, they get the absolute worst people in
Yeah.
the most disgusting houses
Like
you can possibly imagine.
I always thought, if they want, I don't even know if they still do the show because it's kind of lost its edge, but it's like I always thought it would be, it's like if they wanted, like if they got like the most, because they always get like the most intransigent, resistant people, and it'd be like, okay, well, you know what, if you're not going to if you're not going to do the thing, we got Dave Chappelle. He's got a fire suit and a flamethrower, and you got 10 minutes. You got 10 minutes to start working with the crew. Or who's like, I gotta burn it all. I gotta burn it all. I got a permit and everything.
Well, that helps you figure out what your true priorities are.
Yeah, but it was like, but then again, it was like my mom, my dad, and my sister, and it's like, okay, people just didn't want to make decisions on stuff, so. And well, neither did I for other people. So
right.
Can't lie. There have been times I wish the storage unit would go up in flames.
Oh my god!
I wouldn't have to deal with it. It just slags of plastic, and I could just take the insurance money.
Well,
yeah,
sir,
you got it insured.
well, sir,
Careful, you just committed that plan to the internet.
No, there were already fires at the storage unit area before. So you get that phone call saying you need to come here, and I had my storage unit broken into. Imagine, you think you're going to break into the unit, and all you see is bins and bins of like Transformers toys.
Oh,
look how disappointing that would be.
That sounds sad. But I want to say goodbye to Dead Man Walking. He says, need to go. But one thing I'm looking forward to is meeting you, Jill, and others. Take care and safe travels. Safe travels to you too.
When is the Anti-Derivative Con?
Oh man, I don't know. But
I'm changing. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Changing what?
I'm changing my name to And Others, I guess. Bad joke.
Oh, and the rest.
So I take it, Jill, there's a bunch of people going to the memorial service then, I'm gathering.
Yeah, there's a few
Yeah.
people going physically to the event, but everybody can be at the event on Sunday at 4 p.m. Central is when the live stream is set to start. And I
Yes,
know
it's
the
Sunday.
service starts
Okay.
at 2
Good to know. I'll have to make a note of that.
Central
yeah.
Time. Central Time has always
Yeah.
been.
And that's on Klobby's channel, I take it then, is it where it's being?
Yes, Cloburn Times.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting people too, but wish it were for ClobbyCon.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, it'd be nice if it was for a fun occasion, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this is not the ClobbyCon that any of us wanted. So
No, but do you think it would be too much for me to wear a red skirt?
no, it's the only thing. I mean, I don't know what your local weather is. This is gonna be my second time in Louisiana. My first time was in August of 2007. Doing like I was the photographer for a trip in like St. Bernard Parish, Lower Ninth Ward. It's hot. It's sticky. If it rains more than half an inch, it floods. Well, at least down there. But it's just, I mean, I don't know what I don't think the costume is inappropriate. The only issue might be with the material. You see what I'm saying? Just because
I do see what you're saying. I do live in South Texas, and so I
Yes.
do, and it's hot and humid here too. So I think I'll be okay. I've also visited Las Vegas, and that's way hotter. and
Well,
grosser.
it's okay. I hate to be the person who says, but it's a dry heat. But
Yeah, it's a dry heat.
It's it's like, oh, it's a dry heat. You know what? I will effing put that on I'll effing put that on a headstone. He died in the middle of Death Valley, but it was a dry heat. No. I
Yeah, his
I-
hair looked great.
I have been in Palm Springs in July. It is not much better, but it is just the humidity just I'm just saying that when you know what I'm saying, when it's not the costume, it's the material. So that's the only caveat I would say. But I get the sense, not having really any real guidance, that is absolutely 100% appropriate.
Okay.
So
Yeah, because
this
it's all I
is
can think of. So
yeah.
that'll work.
Like I'll put it to you this way. I have numerous suits. I'm not bringing any of them. Not this time, So yeah.
Fair enough. Well, there you go. That makes sense. I'm not going to be formal either. Exactly. Sort of Poop says, "Watch out for those cougars. They like younger prey." Oh, did DJ Play Nice? Oh, and DJ Play Nice also asked if this is an open panel, but I don't know how I'm connected with you. How do I talk to you, DJ Play Nice? Or
Let's see.
I don't know. Like, is he on Twitter?
Witness.
Let's see. Oh wait, Discord. That's right. DJ Play Nice is on Discord, but I don't think I am connected with you on Discord. Or you can email me, DJ Play Nice, if you want to hang out. Send me an email here. I'm gonna type it in the chat. So if you send me an email there, I can send you the link. Oh, and Herc130 says at Mac1 for life on YouTube. And so that's actually Herc130's channel. He does a lot of car video stuff. Real cool edited content.
Nice.
Yeah. That's pretty nice. See what else we have here. I have some comments that I've starred. Oh, DJ Play Nice has a 70 Mercury Cougar and everything is. Oh, now I get the joke. Watch out for the cougars.
Thunder Cougar Falcon Bird.
I drove it into storage, drained it, Jack stranded it, and it's been there since 1995.
Well, if it was properly stored, I mean, still, it's resurrecting. It'll take a little bit of work, but all the rubber's probably shot.
Mm-hmm. Dry rot's real.
And then, well, it's the cars from 68 to 75. Interiors tend to. It was depending on he says a Mercury. I'm not sure what they did, but man, I'm into Volkswagens, and that was that early polyester and types of plastics, and none of it. Any of that was. None of those cars were made to last 15 years, let alone 40. Oh, 50. Yeah. Oh, his car's 54 years old. Ooh, God, I'm old.
Yeah, but you look great.
Yeah, welcome back, Scotty.
Thank you.
I was hoping you'd come back because we did have. It is short leave, so we can talk about whatever you want. But we did sort of have a thing where we wanted to mention Max Headroom. I watched the very first episode.
What did you think?
Today. I wanted to watch the second episode. It was kind of like just the beginning. You only get him for like a few minutes.
Where'd you find it?
In
the ether.
In the ether.
Okay.
I've got the complete series on DVD. It's only one season, so saying the complete. Yeah, I have the. Yeah, no, it's only like 8 episodes.
You're not lying. So I guess it's more like a mini series.
Yeah, and I was a huge fan back when it first came out. I think I'm along the same lines as PvP. We mentioned briefly backstage that I did watch it when it first came out because Max Headroom, was he Pepsi or was he Coke? I think he was Pepsi.
I think he was Pepsi. Yeah. Pepsi, if I remember,
he was just a juggernaut of marketing. Ever since then, I've been following Matt Frewer and his acting career as Sherlock Holmes, obviously as Berlinghoff Rasmussen.
Yeah.
What's the name of his character in Watchmen? because he plays the bad guy in Watchmen, who the comedian goes and confesses his sins to.
Moloch.
Moloch, yes. And so I adore Matt Frewer. One of my first celebrity crushes was Amanda Pays. I loved her. And ever since I saw the teenage kid, the phenom, Bryce, play on his keyboard to do the hacking, because everybody knows in television and movies, if you're hacking, you just type really fast. And he's got like a mechanical, old-timey, almost like Underwood typewriter keyboard. I've always wanted a mechanical keyboard like that, no matter how impractical it is. I love the cyberpunk aesthetic and the giant TV screens on the skyscrapers. If you want to see like just some really cool future retro high tech low life storytelling, it's great. It's absolutely wonderful.
But it also kind of has those feelings of 1984 kind of Brave New World kind of thing going on also.
Oh wait, we were incorrect. He was Max Headroom was a spokesman for New Coke.
New Coke. It's Catch the Wave. Wow. It's the
New
taste of a new
Coke.
generation.
Oh no.
Oh wow.
I remember New Coke. Wow, that didn't last too long.
I feel like they just made New Coke just so that they could say, "Hey, look we have the original formula now. Don't you want this more?"
No,
no. It was an honest to goodness cluster F.
It's one of the worst changes of a brand has ever done in, I think, history, probably.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Now, how long did New Coke actually last on the market? Was like a year?
As New Coke?
As New
Yeah.
Coke.
I think as being the only product, it didn't last for long. I don't think more than 6 months. And that's when Coca-Cola Classic. Remember they brought the old one back as Coca-Cola Classic, and then slowly New Coke, within I think about 5 years, was totally phased out.
Yeah.
They still. I mean,
but I have to say hello to Sentai Ranger Donnie because he's here now. Also to Stark of Iron, Tony. Hi,
Hey, Tony.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah, I think the turnaround time was about a year.
A year?
Yeah, about.
I lived it. I don't remember. I mean, I drank whatever. I was 12 back then when it came out.
I was a kid, so I was into Sprite.
Then it was renamed Coke 2, and
oh, I forgot about Coke 2.
Yes. Apparently, according to the Wikipedia,
I don't remember Coke 2. What's this?
Well,
according to the Wikipedia, New Coke was introduced in April of 1985, and it was discontinued in July of 2002.
So I was 15.
No,
then.
well, Coke 2 lasted in other markets and like other small, because it's like it's like every country, there's umpteen different bottlers but yeah. Oh wait, yeah, it only lasted 77 days.
Oh wow.
Yeah, sorry, I thought I thought 86, 87, but yeah, 77 days.
85. Wow, I was thinking it was earlier, but.
Wow. Okay, that's
So-
interesting to know. Well, it's interesting that it does. This conversation led into real life marketing because that's what the show seems to be about: is commercials and how to market to your consumers to keep them on your cable network. Because this was about a TV show broadcasting company that didn't want people to change the channel. But the problem is the solution they found made people blow up.
Yeah. I'm gonna head off in a minute, but I want to I'd like to exit. I'd like to put my final point is in pointing out the November 22nd, 1987 event, also known as the Max Headroom incident. Now I'm not sure if you know about it, because I am a Chicagoan and I am a Doctor Who fan. And so back in the days of when terrestrial television and antennas ruled waves, people would beam their waves onto antennas in Chicago. They would beam them off of the Hancock Sears Tower in the John Hancock building. That's why they have those utterly large towers on top. and that's how you would get them off of your antennas. So on the Sunday evening of November 22nd, 1987, the episode Doctor Who episode Horror of Fang Rock was playing, and then all of a sudden there was, lo and behold, an interruption in signal, and it was a unidentified hacker who was dressed in a mask resembling Max Headroom, and it lasted for about less than a minute. Actually, it lasted about a minute and a half, and he was just singing all these songs, and then he bent over and was spanked by a fly swatter. And then
I haven't heard this
didn't
story.
he-
Thank you, Max.
Yeah.
Maybe this is why I thought it was Pepsi, because in the Max Headroom takeover, he does sort of shill Pepsi as a joke in terms of the time.
I think he might have, but yeah, that was one of the only incidents where there was a broadcast signal intrusion, and they never found the people. And there have been umpteen different theories, because basically someone would have to go there with a satellite truck and in order to preempt that signal. So, but yeah, that is known as the Max Headroom incident.
That's how I first found out about the whole Max Headroom character, and it was so bizarre that somebody has the ability to disrupt the airwaves like that, like you mentioned, and that's what they choose to do.
Well,
Yeah.
they had great power to send a message, and that's what they decided.
Yeah, if they had a mobile truck or something, though, that kind of seems like an inside job that somebody must have been working in the industry that pulled it off.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be unheard of in Chicago, because there are all these major stations, and then there on top of it, there's a lot of people in the industry who would have that access to that type of equipment, but no one's ever come forward. It's always just been a item of speculation. The fine for it would have been $10,000 up to a year of prison. However, the statute of limitations passed in 1992, but no one has ever come forward. So
92. I wonder if he'll confess on his deathbad.
possibly.
Anyway, I know you said you have to go. Is
Yes,
there anything
and
you want to share before you go? Besides that cool story?
Gosh, not for now. I'm just looking forward to seeing people at the service and whatnot. And this is not the ClobbyCon that we wanted, but hopefully it will be the ClobbyCon that we deserve.
Yeah, exactly.
So
he always brought people together. And
so we
here he
will
is.
and I hope your travel is uneventful, and that's
same
all
here.
I have to say for now.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
All right, take care.
For real.
All right, have a
Take
good day.
care.
Cheers, Max.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, have a good one. Bye.
I have to talk to my daughter real quick. She wants to talk, but before I step away for a moment, I want to welcome to the panel DJ Play Nice. You've seen him before if you've been to the membership streams, but I don't know if I've had him on my non-membership streams. So welcome, DJ Play Nice.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity, and I was nearly begging for the opportunity. The conversation that's happened in the last 45 minutes that I've been able to catch has been really stimulating, and has covered topics that I wish I had been on to be able to add to. But it certainly was a pleasure hearing others, and particularly Max Redstone. I need to get in the conversation with that guy for show.
Well, is there anything you wanted to add that you missed out on?
Oh, it's such a late addition. You know, when you see the text chat scrolling as it does, and this is a merry chat today. It is usually, as what you know. I'm not trying to diminish any previous days, but it's hopping today for sure. And like, if anybody would would like me to go back and talk about this car I've had in storage for that long, I don't know that there are more motorheads than a couple. So I'm satisfied with what I was able to express out there in the text chat. But oh my goodness, how I would wanted to be able to tell my new Coke story. So if you'll indulge me, I'd love to do that.
Please.
Okay. So it had been a thick role-playing game weekend, and these were Coke Classic fueled sessions. And my friend had rewritten based on a couple of different novels, a completely different world. And he was like one of those dudes that would come up with, he would rechart all the Gary Gygax stuff in the D&D manuals. I mean, he just adapted like crazy. And so this really creative guy was, he's Dan. Dan was about 4 years older than me. So hanging with him was pretty cool. And in 85, I was 14. So I'm a dedicated dude, like trying to have fun, and Coca-Cola Classic is my jam. I don't want to drink Dr. Pepper, though I will take it as a substitute if not, no Coke is available. But Pepsi, forget about it. And that weekend, Coke Classic was beginning to disappear from the shelves. And at that point, we had a preference for 2 liters. I don't know if it was because we needed to, was it monetary consideration or a preference, really? And we chased Coca-Cola Classic for the next month from quick shop to quick shop. The grocery stores were barren, but we went quick stores. We went mom and pop liquor stores. We went to Crystal Beverage down on like 10th Street searching for Coca-Cola Classic. It did disappear as far as we had been able to research and ride around and try and procure. It was gone from the metro area. So at the time that we abandoned that search, we realized that we needed to hoard. So we had a closet that we had all these 2-liter bottles. We had eventually the racks that they come in, like 8 of them in a plastic rack that they would be in from the distributor. So we were racked and stacked with 2-liter bottles of Coca-Cola Classic. And that's kind of it. That's where it ends, because as the conversation was before I joined, New Coke, it's trying to do that. There's a rebellion. I was part of that rebellion that bring back the Coke Classic and forget about, with the F and it ends in a K, New Coke. One of those things I was actively going, man, screw that. But I was young. So thank you for indulging me there. I appreciate that. I was brim full of wanting to share. Thank you.
No, absolutely. And again, it's one of those relics of days gone by when there was actual fan backlash, and the company did respond in answer to their customers, which seems like, the halcyon days.
Yeah, I remember living through the whole New Coke thing, and there was a definite rebellion. It was like, what is this crap? Like, I don't know how many people actually liked it, but I think the majority did not find the taste that enjoyable. Because I remember trying it, it's like, nope, I'm not drinking that. And it was just like, give me the classic, or give me or give me death, kind of thing, right? To use
But it's to go back though. It's really funny that because they were reacting to the Pepsi challenge, which was had really shown that. I mean, it was a true thing that people preferred Pepsi over Coke in that blind kind of challenge. So, and Pepsi was always on the sweeter side. I think Coke was always more acidic. But that's what the reaction was. They basically tried to reformulate it as a Pepsi, and history has shown that it just wasn't. But I can't remember anything before that or even after that with such public backlash to something that was considered, truly public, not, pop culture nerdy backlash. That was almost like an American backlash against it.
Yeah,
Coca-Cola.
Oh yeah, well, Scotty, was it the same up north?
Oh yeah, it was the same here. I'm in Canada as is Scotty, and it was the same here. Like, yeah, I remember like it was not popular. I don't think it lasted very long. I'm not sure, the time frame, because I'm sure it was, varies depending on your location, But it didn't go over big here. Anyway,
Well,
sorry,
and I'm
Scott.
trying to. No, not at all. I have no sense to throw into the conversation because when I was a kid, I was drinking RC cola.
Oh,
So
I liked RC.
Oh,
too.
there you go.
But RC was
And-
another sweet one.
yes,
And in particular, I mean, Coca-Cola was iconic. It still is. There was no way
Yeah.
that there wasn't going to be a return of a previous formula. I mean, we see that now in all kinds of other beverages, and I'm not, saying that it was that that sparked it, but we certainly have examples of it here and there. And oh my God, the limited edition this and the super flavored summer version of that. And if you go this, and if you get online, you can get the stuff that they make in Vietnam. It's like crazy amounts of the versions of these beverages,
like Mexican Coke being
Yes.
based on sugar and not. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
popular.
you want
Yeah.
real sugar instead of syrup?
Yeah, cane
Mexican
sugar.
Coke
Yeah.
is better.
Yeah, and to Scotty, one of the points he was making, or an observation, the uprising and the dispute with their decision from the public, it was a gentle uprising. It wasn't our current counterculture. Now, I don't want to muddy the waters or drag the conversation down, because screw that. This is a great day to have this conversation, but it was so much more gentle thing. And I'm not like dropping back into some fogey sort of deal, but it was in the day where you would honestly do petitions and the like.
Yeah, you're
the
right.
same
Right.
the same mall.
Strongly worded letters.
Yes. And in
Well,
the same mall where you took the Pepsi challenge, and I could differentiate. I mean, come on. So I went with my gut. And I knew it was Coke. At that same mall would be perhaps where you collect those signatures or whatever. And it would be like a radio station talks about, hey, you want to try to bring classic Coke back? Get to the Sherwood Mall this afternoon. We'll have it all, and like maybe special interest or human interest at the end of a local television broadcast. And it's, I don't know. I'm kind of a ship who's, no one's at the wheel right now. Somebody take it. Yeah.
Dear sir, I'd like to protest your so-called new Coke. Yeah, that seems like the right way to go. That's
Well, I
very
mean, it was-
polite.
The whole
And
thing
hello
was,
to-
this is
Hello
Oh,
to
go ahead,
Lee
Joe.
Anthony Davis. I just wanted to say hi to the people who got here as I was stepped away. And
Hey, lad.
see who else showed up. Oh, Rob Wright is here. Wow, that's great. Rob Wright, Gen X pop culture. And if you wanna check out his channel, he has a great channel, and you can catch him on Pop Culture Breakdown every Wednesday
The red tabs.
on
Red
Overlord
tabs.
DVD channel. Yeah.
But
Great
yeah,
to see you
that's-
here. Also, hello to Radioactive. You guys forgot Crystal Pepsi.
No, I've been thinking that the whole time. I'm waiting to say it because that was another one that.
Do you guys remember the SNL parody of that, the Crystal Gravy?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Put the liquid. That was great.
There were there were several, I guess, variations before even that. I can remember my mother purchasing bottles when, it came in the 8-pack of 16-ounce bottles or whatever it was. It was lemon Pepsi.
Pepsi
And
Light.
that-
Light.
But
see,
they
there-
had
there-
that too. They had the one with like the Pepsi that had like it tasted like the lemon slice. The last time I saw that in stores was around 2003, and
No,
that
he's
was actually
talking-
pretty
He's
good.
talking about Cat. He's talking about one from the 70s.
I'm talking 1974.
No, they've done another one
5.
since
Yeah,
then.
that was Pepsi
Yeah.
Light.
And it went away.
Light.
I'm sorry.
I just remember my grandmother, for some odd reason, she had a bottle that sat in her basement of that Pepsi Light for probably 20 years, untouched, dirty, full of dust. But yeah, I don't know. I just had to say that. I just remember
on.
it.
Well, hey, that's a pleasant memory, right? And I just had a pleasant memory about my, 8-pack carriers of 16-ounce bottles and the clink clink that it made, and the idea that you would take them back to the place where you bought them, and you would get 10 cents back for each
I
one
worked
of
in
them.
the
and it-
grocery store. Yeah, we
bam.
we had to take all the returnable glass, all the bottles.
Yeah. What state?
Ohio.
Yeah. Ohio. All right, man. And who am I speaking to?
This is Nala.
All right, man. DJ.
Yeah, we that was
I remember I would look at the bottles and think, man, I wish I was in these other states where they would give me money for this.
Some states still do that, I believe.
Yeah.
Or some kind of what's the word that they use for it? Deposit.
Yes. Well,
And
Well, I'm
I'm
starting
up
to feel
against
kind
one
of-
of them. Go ahead, please.
I'm starting to feel kind of bad for people in the UK because it says Gavin Blackburn is informing me that all soda pop is terrible in the UK now because we have a sugar tax and they reduce
Oh.
the sweetness levels. Iron Brew and Kaiser is now ruined.
Oh no.
Well, you know what Americans did when we had taxes from Britain that we didn't like. So you know you can take a page from our book.
It is
remember
crazy how much we pay for colored sugar water, though.
Oh yeah.
Brown colored sugar water, basically.
Okay, may I ask? There's more than Scotty. There's 2 Canadians on panel right now, right?
As far as I know.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So I wish that I could get HP sauce at my grocery store, kind of thing. That goes from the Netherlands to England to Canada. You know, I mean, that's one of those things, and that's Heinz. Like,
Where are you at?
Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska.
Okay, because I say even we can get it here in Ohio.
You may?
Yeah.
Wow. See, I said you may as if well, it is. It's a privilege in my estimation at this point.
Yeah,
I know I can get it online, but it was also the way that I was introduced to it, and it was first in Canada, and then, you know, I jump across the Atlantic, and there it is on a table with, you know, some other things. And it was like, wow, I want to try. I'm glad that I did.
Oh, it's delicious. I do put it on most things. I think it actually supplanted my love for ketchup as I got older. I would put HP on things more than I would put ketchup on things.
Yeah, I guess it's from the UK, isn't it? The HP sauce, if I remember.
Houses of Parliament.
Yeah, because it's the big thing over there, isn't it? Like, you know, more than ketchup or anything.
I don't know what HP is.
How's HP sauce?
It's like a steak sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But not like
something.
A1. Not like A1.
No?
It's a little different.
It's anchovy based, so there's a bit of a salty fish taste, a little bit. There's a sharpness to it, a tang.
Nice.
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
Sounds like it would be good with Tabasco.
Well, you're mixing your sauces.
Oh, yeah, probably.
You know what go great with this malt vinegar? Relish.
More vinegar. James Caserta said I had to have my coffee and watch the end of the motion picture to wake up. Oh yeah, I had trouble waking up today too, so I just took a nap. I've been asleep because I spent all night cutting a new video, which will release next Friday. Because I won't be having my shows next week. I'm off the whole week. But I want to welcome to the panel Tiger Stripes. Hey, Tiger Stripes.
Hey, you guys.
Gavin Blackburn put HP sauce on eggs and bacon.
Egg and bacon chicken,
buddy.
Egg and bacon buddy, which
I'm
is
not quite
which
sure
is
what a buddy is, to be honest.
it's a UK sandwich. It's basically just what they call
I
this
had a
sandwich.
feeling it was a sandwich, but surely it's just a sandwich.
Well, I used to work in an English pub, and they used to have chip buddies, which is basically a French fry sandwich, and I made fun of it every time I had to serve it.
And just on regular bread.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Oh, ew. Okay. Penny, later, y'all, I need to unload the car and put everything away. So, yes, because Penny's usually shopping during my stream, so that makes sense. See you later, Penny.
Cheers, Penny.
Come back.
Give us Calto. Okay, I tell Eugene Bird I'm leaving, and he's like, Calto. No, probably not going to happen, but I don't know. We'll see what happens during the week, because I think I will pack my microphone, but I'm not promising anything. Because
FKHC 2005 says, don't forget egg, bacon, spam, and sausage. And remember that if you replace the egg and the bacon and the sausage with spam, then you have a spam.
Spamity spam, wonderful spam.
Like you think you want to put different kinds of spam between the spams to get different flavors.
They didn't have the other types of spam back then.
I don't know. Maybe they did.
Oh, was that an airplane? I heard an airplane.
It was me, but I muted. But it was, yes.
Oh, okay.
It was me, yes. They come in low here, and we've got a low ceiling today, so they come in even lower.
Neat. Okay. Oh, man. All right. So, does anybody remember Dr. Pepper Red Fusion or Blue Pepsi? I don't know
Yes.
any of those.
I remember Red Fusion.
Well, this is
Yeah, I
sodas
haven't
and
tried
not
those.
just anything, right? Because I do remember Shrek Hershey syrup, which was green going in, and you can imagine.
Oh wow, really?
Yes.
Color changing.
There was a
That's
fad
something
with
with
ketchup, colored
This is pretty
ketchups
rare.
too.
It's a very odd substance that, leaves your body the same color it goes in.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
Do you guys remember Olean?
If you're worried
and
about the color
Olestra?
of your stool, don't drink that stuff.
Oh, they only
See-
made it for Shrek, one of the Shreks. And of course,
When
I
you
had
think
to
about
have it because I was a fan.
When you think about peanut butter, we had like Skip, Jiffy, whatever. There are like 3 brands, and so you got crunchy or you got creamy. Now you look at the peanut butter shelf, and again, I'm not trying to be a fogey, but there are 20 goddamn kinds of peanut butter variations. You got it with honey, you got it with this, you got it with that, you got it with another thing. Depending on the fad, you might have this, and this, which is only going to be seasonal. Pumpkin spice is bound to end up in that stuff, right? It's going to do it. It's, now that has become ubiquitous, I want to go back to when it was on the shelf. What was on the shelf next to those couple of peanut butter choices in various sizes from a couple of different manufacturers was Goober grape. Jelly, peanut butter, jelly, peanut butter in vertical columns. And there it was, this striking purple against this flat, dark earth peanut butter. And it was up on the top shelf, and it was within reach kind of thing, but it wasn't within reach of a mother who didn't want to spend pennies on such a trifle. So it remained until my adult life. At some point in my 20s, I was like, oh yeah, I've just passed that. I'm going to get Goober grape. It was total ass. It was horrible.
Yeah, that's one of those things marketed to kids. It's so much easier to make your sandwiches now.
Yes. What a gentle memory. Wow, I love it.
It was featured on well, at least a version of it on Matilda, because I do remember Matilda making a sandwich from but I guess they're not the only ones who mix peanut butter and jelly together. But I think that probably was it. Lee Anthony Davis says, I would like to ask the panel about the cringy music video, if you can call it that, sung by Stenberg. Your thoughts on that, please. I don't know what that is. Does anybody
I don't know
know?
what that is. I'm sorry.
I don't know what that is either.
Yeah, I feel like it went through the zeitgeist at some point last week. I remember the word Stenberg, but I didn't get there. So
No, I'm not up on the what's happening, what's going on. I don't know. I haven't.
Oh, it's the woman from the Acolyte. Acolyte.
Oh no! Don't tell me this is another actor who's decided to have a singing career as well. I mean, we can all harken back to
Released
Leonard
a
Nimoy.
song after being flooded with intolerable racism.
Wow.
And Nimoy was actually singing. Can
Yes.
no longer say
Instead of
that.
yeah.
Well, it was okay when Nimoy did it because, we love the hobbits.
Oh yeah.
Franco Walker doesn't
You
like
want to take that back? You sure that was okay there, Jill?
what? Yeah, what's wrong with? Well, I guess
You're giving him a pass. Okay.
yeah.
Well, it went right over my head
Totally.
too, happily. So if there's some sort of vulgarity there, we'll just let it go.
I'm back now.
No.
If you need vulgarity, I'm back.
No, I was
second
just,
that
I was
emotion.
just saying.
Scotty feels superseded.
I was just saying that I don't mind Leonard Nimoy singing about hobbits. I enjoy it.
Oh, I saw an ad, I think it was. I'm not even sure. Was it for a car? where he's schooling Zachary Quinto,
Mhm.
and they go to play
Yeah.
golf, and they're kind of racing to get there, and they're in different
yeah.
cars. It was quite a long commercial. I'd never seen it before. I only just saw it like the other week. And at some point, we're sitting in his car, and he starts to sing Bilbo Baggins to himself. It's very darling.
That's it. Yeah, I remember that commercial. They aired that. Oh, that was probably 10 years ago now.
Oh,
That was good.
yeah, it was really good.
Okay, this isn't cheese, this is like honest, but it is, this is like marshmallow time for me, I guess. Okay, his quote, "A life is like a garden, perfect moments can be had but not preserved except in memory." And I've just been geeking on a couple of them. So Jill, I will second that emotion. The Hobbit thing does make me smile. And being in an era where that kind of thing was, you're in the era of like Shel Silverstein, all this stuff is going to pop off on Children's Television Network and that sort of thing. So it is one of those, it's a little niche where that did fit in at the times and it made sense. So Celebrity with the Acolyte Woman, I wonder what that's about. And certainly the racism thing is, I guess I'll check it out.
Yeah,
Opinion on that.
I'd have to check it out to be able to know what I'm talking about, and I don't know the context of anything because they call everything racist nowadays, so I don't know exactly what's happening.
Well,
I mean,
Donnie's always on top of all of the trends, and
Oh,
Donnie
yeah,
says
he
her
is.
name is Amandla Stenberg. So
Amandla,
I guess
okay.
one could go look for that.
Yes, I did find it, but I can't watch it right now because
I think I'll pass.
we're live right now.
I think I'll pass.
Well, if it's the only reason to watch anything terrible is to talk about it with friends.
That's true.
While
And
drinking
Jill-
a woke new Coke.
Nice, man. Nice. So, Jill, the last example I can think of when it comes to a song thing was like last summer, a country song by a performer named Jason Aldean. The song was "Try That in a Small Town." Were it not for the video making it kind of explode and there being a questionable message, that song could still exist. And, parts of it were inconsiderate. But rough sentiment is something that I don't have an appreciation for the lack of grit in things. I want some grit. I want some dirty. I want some down low. I want something like that. I don't want it to be all polished and segmented. And go ahead, Jill.
No, I agree with you. I don't mind somebody talking about what they believe in or whatever, but make it fun, make it engaging, make it entertaining. And if it's an entertaining thing, then they have more of a breadth to talk about what they want. But if you make it boring and meandering and insulting, then how is anybody supposed to have any fun? And then they get mad at your message. It's really that simple.
Yeah, it's nice if things have a bit of an edge to them, right? I mean, they don't have to be nasty to have a bit of an edge that makes them fun, right? Otherwise it's boring pablum, basically.
Almost all of my. Go ahead, please.
I was just going to say, DJ, that you mentioned the garden. Those lyrics, didn't Rush put that in their final song called "The Garden"? Those same lyrics, because I remember that those lyrics, I think, were in the song, their final song on their final album, actually.
I'm unaware. That is
Yeah.
worthy of investigation. I'm making the notation now. Thanks for that, man.
Oh, you're welcome. And Neil Peart, the Neil Peart, their drummer, passed away like, I don't know, 5 years ago now or something. And he was always the main lyricist in the band, so I think he probably incorporated those lyrics when he was writing that song. And it did end up being their final one because he had to retire due to his health issues. And we'll check it out. Yes.
I shall. Were you able to see them perform?
No, unfortunately, I was one of those unlucky Canadians that never got to see them perform, even though many people saw them dozens of, if not hundreds of times from what I've heard over the years. But yeah, somehow they always eluded me. I was just never in the right place at the right time, I guess. So, yeah.
I also never saw Rush, but that put me in the right place at the right time throughout my entire
come on.
existence.
Keep it positive, buddy. Come on. I know what you think about Rush.
Only time I ever
Fine.
The only reason I know anything about it is when they showed up on the Trailer Park Boys episodes.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the one where they kidnapped the guitarist, Alex Lifeson.
Yeah.
They took him
Yep.
hostage.
They did.
That's a really
And
good one.
Not
They
really
can't
into the
get
big hair
late.
music in general, but Geddy Lee's got one of those voices that cannot be denied.
And it's
It can be
divisive.
denied entrance to my
Yeah.
CD player.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I will say
And
he
Geddy,
had
it's
one of those
amazing. He has an
voices.
amazing voice.
you know, you have three incredible instrumentalists. If you listen to the instrumentals or you listen to the breaks, they're they and yes, I like to make that comparison. Super
Sure.
talented instrumentalists.
Okay, now
And
you
then when you
lose me.
toss, pardon me,
Continue.
and
Continue.
right on. And so Geddy Lee's voice is one of those things. I can take it for an album side, or I can take it for a greatest hits, but it's kind of pushing it at that point because it
Right.
is so abrasive in that register and with that nasal tone, quality.
It's
And
beautiful though.
the,
It's ringing and identifiable. That's what you
yes,
really
ma'am.
want in a lead vocalist, don't you, ma'am? Me.
Well, it's a big question.
I,
Tiger Stripes.
we are copacetic.
What?
Pardon me. Pardon me.
I just,
Thank you.
I
I
want
appreciate
to,
that.
I can appreciate both viewpoints. Like as a big Rush fan, since I heard 2112 back in the mid 70s, when that was the first introduction I had to the band. It
Are
took
we
me
really
some
going to go down
time.
this rabbit hole? Continue.
Well, you guys are talking about Rush, but I guess
Oh,
you'll
but,
find
you were
out
talking
there.
about Rush. We're trying to accommodate you.
Yeah. Oh, but also regarding that Stenberg thing that I just heard about 5 minutes ago, Shield Wall of Dragons. I wanted to say hello, and he says, "Do not play it. She will copyright strike the channel." Yeah, I believe that. I wasn't thinking for half a second to ever play that. I could tell right away just by looking at the thumbnail that that's something I don't necessarily need to hear. I bet you that I hate Friday by Rebecca Black, but I bet you I like it more than whatever she did. Like I haven't heard it yet, but just looking at it,
Mm,
But you got to get down on Friday.
yeah,
it's a
and I
catchy
probably
song,
will
like
after
measles
after,
or
after I hear
mumps.
I
hear
did
it.
just want to
Earworm of
mention.
all time.
I just wanted to mention what I think of Geddy's voice briefly, though. It took me a while to appreciate the early stuff because he was singing in a very high register on those early albums. But he did lower his register, I think, in the late 70s on some of those albums. He began to bring it down. But I began to appreciate him over the years. I actually went back and listened to the early stuff, and I actually really enjoy it now. It just took me a long time to really appreciate what he was doing back in those days. But I think overall, Geddy does have a very powerful voice, and I think he's a damn good singer personally. To me.
Agree. Signature.
Yeah.
And I think if the word undeniable wasn't used, I would like to apply that as well, or agree. One of the things I really liked about seeing them live was their sense of humor was translated for gentlemen who used few words other than lyrics kind of thing in the performances. And so to have opening bands, especially, they open with a cartoon before their set, and like Three Stooges and a Popeye I saw once. I saw them in like 88, 90, 90.
Cool. Wow.
I've seen them. Without bragging, I've had the opportunity to see them about half a dozen times. But on the '93 tour, I didn't care for Candlebox at the time, but think about Candlebox and Rush. But the Melvins, Primus, and the Doughboys, they brought punk, and Primus is just oddity. How do you classify them? And so,
Oh, the people who made the South Park song.
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
I think Rush could appreciate other bands because they were such good musicians themselves. So they love to give the nod to other bands that maybe weren't getting the attention they should. Because, I mean, those weren't as mainstream bands as Rush was. By the way, Clockwork Angels is the last album, DJ, if you want to check out that song, The Garden.
I saw him on that tour. I may have heard that live. I really don't recall, but that's awesome. Thank you for the extra tidbit there, man. You saved me a search.
Oh, that's good.
Did I say hello to Lee Anthony Davis yet? Hello, Lee Anthony Davis. Okay, I did. Okay.
Still good to see you, Lee Anthony Davis.
I do know he's fairly new to the channel, so I wanted to make sure I didn't pass him up. And Franco Walker, this was said a while back. I don't like any cola unless there's booze in it. I do like a Coca-Cola with some whiskey. That's fun.
Well, that was the question that I had about Crystal Pepsi. What do you mix it with?
Oh, yes.
Vodka?
Gin.
Yeah, but
Another clear.
It would have to be white rum, I guess. Beer.
Just coming up with stuff.
Boilermaker. That's
What
Boilermaker.
What if you drop a little Kahlua in there and stir it to make it brown again?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
gross.
there's a Star Trek quote I need from Scotty that asks if it does it mix well with anything.
Yes. Well, and that reminded me when we were talking about New Coke. It's like when Scotty goes in and gets the synthahol. He's like, this is not Scotch.
Oh, I need that too. There's so many quotes I want. But I guess I like
I
this
only use it for medicinal purposes.
See, and Gavin gets it. Gin. Anything goes with gin. I thought gin was exclusively for Mountain Dew.
Or for
Tonic. Anyway, it is Friday. Please enjoy responsibly. Don't overdo it. I know it's ironic for me to be the one to tell you that.
Where I get to say that I do greatly prefer a sugar cola, and I go out of my way to buy them, and I really cut back on my consumption of soft drinks in general. And that high fructose corn syrup is just poison.
Oh yeah, I don't drink
I'm gonna
soda
say
on a
all
regular
the things.
basis.
Yeah.
I don't buy it most of the time, mostly because I don't want my children drinking it. And I'm like, oh, if I'm telling my children not to drink it, then I'm not gonna buy it. Like not to be to try not to be a hypocrite, but every once in a while I'll buy it. And
HEB has a store brand of cola that's made with sugar and sucrose. It's a 20-calorie cola, and that's what I invest in. And I try to only have them a few times a week with a meal.
well, like someone was saying earlier, the Mexican cola has pure cane sugar in it, so that works for me.
Then again, HEB has store brands of sugar soda made with sugar.
There we go. DJ gets it.
Oh, I missed it.
That's fine. We were treated with a drunken gnome.
Poor gnome.
Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too?
Yes. Yeah, I didn't really realize what that avatar was until I made it big.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. It's
I love
actually pretty funny.
So what do we have coming out in theaters this weekend? Anything interesting? Anything new?
I don't go to the
I know
theaters anymore. I feel like
I'm sorry?
missing out. I don't go to the theaters anymore, and I used to be a real moviegoer. So, they kind of reprogrammed me during the whole pandemic thing, and I haven't really quite gotten back yet. It's kind of not good, I guess.
The two movies coming out this weekend are Thelma and The Bike Riders.
And I Used to Be Funny is now coming out, which is a small art house film, it looks like.
They're making I didn't even know they were making a prequel to Thelma and Louise. Like what?
What?
Okay.
That's not, what?
I don't think
That's not what it is.
That's not what that is.
Oh, okay. I was just guessing.
Thelma, a Thelma and Louise saga.
It seems like so many things are prequels, so
So that's why I was
understand.
that was why I went there.
It makes sense, actually, Jill, that you would think that, because it seems like everything's a prequel now.
Yeah, this is a movie with June Squibb, and she's going after somebody who fell victim to a phone scam, and she's trying to track the person down.
Oh, that's cool. I love her.
One with the old lady. Okay.
Yeah, she's great. And I joked that it's like, so it's going to be like The Beekeeper, except with the June Squibb, which means it's going to be infinitely better.
Okay, that's the one that has a chase scene, but with the little scooter, the mobility scooter.
Yeah.
But The Beekeeper, wasn't that the Sherlock Holmes film?
The Beekeeper.
No, but there was a Sherlock Holmes movie where he is a beekeeper. Yeah, that was with Ian McKellen. But
Yeah, because I quite enjoyed that.
yeah, I thought that was funny. It's like, wow, you're the master Sherlock Holmes, and you couldn't find the wasp nest 10 feet away from the beehive. that's a whole other story.
Yes.
But yeah, that's coming out this weekend, and then The Bike Riders, which was a movie that was almost going to get dumped on streaming last fall, and then they found another buyer.
Well, that's good.
Well, and
Somebody
also
had to
Shield
come in
Wall of Shield Wall of Dragons says Inside Out 2
I
was
loved
not terrible. I need
It
to go
looked
see
Saw
it
it
myself.
last week.
Ah.
Yeah,
I
don't
heard
know,
I heard
maybe-
it was quite good. Not
Maybe
as
I'll
good
watch
as the
it
first
then.
one, but definitely it does address the emotional situation of the inner life in a tumultuous way that is reflective of adolescence. And so,
What
I
did you
heard
think,
that it was good.
Naladoc? You saw it, Naladoc.
We
What'd
thought
you
it was
think?
great. We thought it was great. I mean, it is derivative of the first one. It's a sequel, so it has the same general, almost. I hate to say it, almost the
Structure.
same plot. Yeah, but we laughed, and that's all I wanted out of it. It didn't.
That's
Thankfully,
important.
it didn't go for a duplicate. I mean, I'm assuming everybody here has seen the original.
Yes,
Where,
I
where
have.
the emotional hit when Mr. Bing Bong
The
dies.
imaginary friend.
Yeah, it doesn't have a hit like that thing. I would have been really upset if they would have tried to duplicate that emotional moment. But no, we liked it.
That was
Yeah,
the shocking
because
thing about
the-
Inside Out
yeah, that's
1
good.
is that everybody dies at the end.
Well, if you stay for the end credits, they all
The
join
boy
the
dies,
Avengers.
the girl dies, everybody dies.
The parents.
Everyone dies.
We
It's
need more
surprising they
Pixar
were
films
able
with
to
that.
Heavy metal.
You know, Pixar hasn't done a film truly about. Well, no, yeah, I guess Coco's about death in a weird way, but
Oh, very much so.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
and
love
the,
Coco's fantastic.
What was the one
It
about
is.
the pianist who dies?
Soul.
Soul.
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
still
that was
haven't
about
seen-
death too. Yeah, I don't know why I said that. There are clearly, I'm thinking like
Disney
horror
is all
movie
about
death.
death. I mean, the mom dies,
Up
the
was-
dad dies,
Up
somebody dies.
Up,
Up
yeah,
was
up,
kind of
up.
about that too.
What's that?
The movie Pixar's Up was kind of about that too. Like, you know,
Oh, yeah, it starts with
you
death.
only-
Everybody's weeping.
Oh, that opening.
Yes.
The first 10 minutes in.
That's
Oh, that's
crazy
like that-
opening.
that first 10 minutes of that movie is like a perfect short film in and of
It
itself.
is. Yes.
Yep. I still haven't
Yes.
seen the Red Panda one yet. I forget what that was. Red.
I'm gonna pass that on that one.
That
think
was
it's just
yeah, that
called
was
Red.
the
Pass.
Red. Yeah.
You liked it?
No, I haven't seen it. I think that's what it's
Ah.
called. It's
I haven't
called
seen the
I think
Elementals
it's
one
just
either.
called. Is it just called Red?
But
or maybe
I
it's,
loved
it's
The
something
Incredibles.
Blue and
it's
white.
the-
Park 130 is making fun of my, well, having fun with my mistake, not making fun. Scotty, can you read this in a movie trailer voice, please?
Herc130 in the chat says, Thelma survived by eating Louise at the bottom of the canyon. Zombie Thelma arises this
That's
summer.
that's really good.
Harvey Keitel,
no, it was called.
Brad
I
Pitt,
remember.
and Gina Davis.
It was called Turning Red. That's what it was called.
That's
Aha.
it, yes.
Perfect.
Nice
Yeah.
pull.
And it's about menstruation. This is where all the
It's like
guys
a.
go,
It's like
"Ah!"
an analogy. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like an
it's an
analogy for
analogy.
that.
Yes.
It's like
Pass.
that time I was, yeah, like all kids go, all female kids go through it. It's like I was in, luckily I was wearing black pants that day, but that's all I'll say about
Oh
that
yeah,
one.
we all have our stories.
I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
See a cocktail named after Scotty avoided.
I missed
And I
out.
bet you could think of one about someone else if you
What-
tried, even just a little.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, don't. We can just move on.
Yep.
Yes.
Trick 3 is
mentioned
back
Judy
in
Blume.
theaters. What? I need to
Star
get
That's
Trek
right. It
3.
is.
When? What? I forgot.
I
I
did
heard
see
about
that there
it,
was
but
a
I forgot
limited
about it.
re-release.
Star Trek Beyond. That's the one they're talking
That's the one that came back to the theaters.
No.
Not much fanfare.
about. I'm joking.
No, it's because of the
Keen,
Beastie
like
Boys.
Oh, I'm busy the whole week. I hope it's in theaters for like months. I'm gonna miss it. aren't I?
No, they only do these re-releases for about a week. You're gonna have to slip in there somehow.
Frack.
Take the kids.
Yeah, Jill's never seen it. She needs to see it. I mean,
Yeah.
No, I've seen these movies a ton of times. I just haven't seen them
I'm
in theaters.
joking.
I've seen
I don't.
the motion picture and the Wrath of Khan in theater, so I need
Yes.
3, and then I need 4
I
and
miss
5 and
out
6.
on. Yeah, Wrath of Khan came out up here twice, like last year and I think the year before, and I missed out both times because it was like one night only, one showtime only type screenings.
Fathom event thing.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and as
Because that would
the
make-
like PvP and I Canadian, you guys get the Fathom events and you get the wide release sort of re-releases. I don't think that was available for Star Trek: The Motion Picture. I did get a chance to see Wrath of Khan, and at that point, I felt like I had almost worn out the tape I had watched. And I mean that hypothetically, like I had watched Wrath of Khan so many times on TV and DVD and VHS and all that jazz that I was just like, I want to see it in the theater to say that I saw it in the theater, but I don't know how engaged I'm going to be because I thought it had just become too tired with how many times I'd seen it. And when I saw it again in the movie theater, it absolutely popped and reinvigorated my love for that flick. There is something that actually happens when you do get a chance to see it on the big screen. I would love to go check out Trek 3. Love to see Search for Spock. But I don't know if that's in the distribution cards for this little Ontario person.
Yeah, it seems to be hit or miss because sometimes we don't get the same promotions, re-releases like down in the U.S. So I don't think I got a chance to see either of the first couple of movies when they re-released them, Scotty. But I saw them all when they originally came out in the theater. I was lucky enough, young enough to see the whole, all the, Trek films at the theater. So I'm good with that. But yeah, Wrath of Khan definitely does make a difference on the big screen. It really does pop, doesn't it? It's really good.
Yeah, knuckle bump on two things there, both seeing them in the theaters and the way that Khan will pop like that. And Scotty, don't be so jaded, man. You get to go from the 300, from the 30-inch because you're glued to the television, all those VHS, stretching the tape kind of deals. But you get to have that 3,000-foot view because you're looking at that huge screen and those elements. And so you said you've had that before. My man, go grab it again. There's something there for you. There's a nugget. There's something you didn't notice where you have an aha moment or those guys. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm not knocking it. I'm sort of, it feels like Escape, the Pina Colada song, where it's like, I was tired of my lady. And then he tries to hook up with another lady, and then he finds out that it is the lady he was always with anyway. And that's how I felt when I was watching Wrath of Khan again. And I was like, I don't know why I ever thought I got bored of this. And when I did get to see it in the sort of cinematic presentation, it just revived all of my affection for that flick. And so if you do get an opportunity to check out movies in the theater, I know Kat is a huge film goer for classic re-releases and seeing the remasters. There is, and maybe this has happened with you, Kat, is that it does sort of revive the feelings that you had the first time you saw it, just because of the majesty of the presentation.
Oh yeah,
Thank
especially
you for using the word majesty. Thank you for using the word majesty. Mm-hmm.
And the most, especially with the sound system, is so much better because I don't have a surround sound set up. And so just getting that in particular is like, wow. Like even, 2 years ago, IMAX started showing a bunch of James Bond movies for the 60th anniversary, one a week. And so I went to see all of those, and it's like, it was primarily the sound that just blows you away, and just that clarity of seeing Gold. That was the first time I saw Goldeneye in the theater too. I'm like, wow, this is so cool, And it's like, that's also a movie where I had seen it probably, dozens of times. That was the first Bond movie I saw. But seeing it on the big screen really does reinvigorate your love for something. Really does.
Well, and I did get an opportunity to check out Goldfinger, but more at an art house. It wasn't like the Cineplex or AMC that you would have. But I got to go see it in a theater, big screen, and with people. And there is a certain level of that electricity in the room when you get to watch a movie with strangers and you're all sort of reacting to the same thing at the same time. I love it. Love it.
Oh yeah, I remember 12 years ago I saw a Goldfinger at a old, one of those artsy movie theaters in town here. And you had people coming who had brought their sons to see it in 1964 who were now there with their sons and now their grandsons coming to watch it at that screening. And it was really neat seeing the whole generational thing, and everybody was vibing with it. And so it was just that much more exciting when you're watching it with a whole very enthusiastic audience.
Does anyone on panel or in chat have an art theater that's nearby or in their community? I really love to see, the Rialto, the Spectre, these older theaters where they're turning them into art house film spots. And that's hard to maintain. That it's a trickle of attendance kind of deal, but I will champion your cause and I will attend the screening of, because I love Toshiro Mifune. I'm going to go see Throne of Blood and pay $15 to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, down in Sacramento, they got the Crush Theater, and that's like one of those old movie palaces opened in 1915, and it's still there. It's 1 block north of the Capitol, and it's really great. And they just screen all sorts of older classic movies when they can. But it's like that's a really great experience going down there. Or like Tower Theater, Tower Theater has an annual tradition where they show Psycho every Halloween, sold out show, and The Shining every October, and The Exorcist, and it's like going to these sellout screenings. It's so cool.
Yeah, the closest thing I have is Alamo Drafthouse. They also show a lot of older movies and replays and things like that. But it's more of a hybrid because they'll also show the modern stuff that's out.
I heard
How
last
many
week Alamo
screens
got
is your
bought out
Alamo?
by some sort of big conglomerate.
I think 6. Just going by thought here, 6 or 8.
Right on. Yeah, ours is a 6.
Yeah.
So there are all those opportunities. I mean, that's cool. What was, if anybody on panel wants to share, I'd like to know what was the first rescreen you saw in a theater? And I know some people have referred to some of theirs, but Jill, I pass it to you. Do you have that experience, and what was it?
I don't remember it, but I do remember the first time I went to when the Alamo Drafthouse did first open. They had a free screening of Jaws, and I went to that, and it was a free movie party. So they give you these little props and things, and a little popper to pull, and all this, and a little squirt gun shark, and
bonus.
It was cool.
Oh, it's like Rocky Horror.
And then that was
They're
actually
encouraging interaction with the film.
I'm saying,
Yeah,
I
they
thought
did.
that
They did.
myself.
Like a kiddie matinee.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did that. They did that, but it was also my first time ever seeing Jaws.
Nice combo there.
Yeah, speaking of Jaws, we only have one local theater that does show some old movies, and they're actually showing Jaws in about 8 days from now, Jill, at the local theater. Weird coincidence, but they do show some old movies occasionally. They kind of mix it in with some newer stuff, but it's
Not
kind
too
of
much
like
of a
a
coincidence.
well, it's kind of
And
like a
it's summer.
restaurant. You can actually have a meal and then go see a movie. It's kind of a strange combo, but I
Yeah,
haven't been
Drafthouse
there
has that
myself.
too.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
Alamo's all about. I do not
Yeah.
like it. Sam,
But it's the
I-
only one. All the other ones just show
Well,
up.
the only thing I don't like is that they keep walking in front of the movie. If they could just like be invisible, I would be okay. I'd be better about it.
I've had an issue every time I've gone. Every time. And so I will go no
That
more.
seemed to be the case with most things for you.
No, the Alamo Drafthouse at the high point of the film, at the crisis of the film, at the whole point where you're
Your
really
credit
supposed to
card.
be paying attention. You put your time in, and you've put in your hour and 20 minutes, and things are really happening. Every time, one of these workers will approach me with the bill for one reason or another.
Yeah, and that's why I just have it ready. I just have the card ready, and I completely ignore them and just
And yet-
just hand it
and
over
yet-
and just
and
look
yet-
around them.
And yet,
I'm always ready.
I work really hard. I think I've only been 4 times, and after the first time, every time I made a lot of effort to say to the person, here's what I've ordered, I'm paying now, please don't interrupt the film. And yet they do. Every time they come crawling in with their hunched shoulders and their cringy faces. And they,
Wow,
and they
you
have to
really
interact
don't
with
like
me
them.
during the film. So
gonna tell us
If
what
you
she really
request it,
thinks.
they
I will
if
not go
you
back.
request it, they really shouldn't.
If the
Yeah.
investigation into the deaths of the employees is active, I don't know that you should have told their story.
I will not go back.
Fuck.
What kind of faces did they have? Stupid faces? What?
Cringy. Oh my god.
Cringy faces.
They know they're
Okay.
doing something wrong. They know they're misbehaving. They know
Yes.
they're acting against my explicit wishes. They're afraid I'm going to strike them, I think. That's the kind of, they look like a whipped dog.
Welcome to the movie. Here is your seat. Just to let you know, the old lady had the diamond the entire time, and Jack dies. Anyway,
Yes.
can I get you a beverage?
Yes.
But I understand that that complaint, and certainly a film is different than other things that are cabaret style. That's what I'll call Alamo Drafthouse. So you go to a comedy shop, anything that has that small, more intimate and seated audience, especially in clusters, those bills got to come out. And yeah, I mean, it sucks. And for a movie, it would suck worse. But I mean, how do you feel about drive-in movies?
You can't just settle your bill before the movie starts. I mean, I think that's the point.
I guess you could yank the collar at the manager and say, "Look, if you bust out this thing again, like I'm going to be
supposed to order. It's
unhappy."
delivered, and then you eat during the film. I think is
Those are your rules, though.
conceptually.
What do you mean? I can't bring a hibachi into this theater? This is ridiculous. I wanted a barbecue.
Steaks on me.
There should definitely be an option to have no servers come to you after you've got what you wanted, and that should be a thing. But I do agree with Shield Wall of Dragons. I like the Alamo because they limit kids and are very strict about noise, and that is one benefit.
Facts.
Well, and when I saw Star Trek 2009, I saw that in Australia, and it was a big outing because we were poor, and it was a big thing that I wanted to go see. Set aside your complaints about the movie. And we go in, and they said it was very specific in terms of the service because we got like a charcuterie board, and we ended up getting like a bunch of beer. And they said, okay, service is going to stop within the first 20 minutes. So anything you order, it's all going to come within the first 20 minutes of the film, and then you're never going to see us again. And that is how it was sort of regulated. So I never had that interruption. Unfortunately, they did end up bringing us like 8 beers when we had an hour and a half left of the movie because our eyes were bigger than our livers.
Well, seeing through the lens with beer goggles, so to speak.
Well, maybe that's why I liked that movie. It's because I was wasted.
I don't get wasted when I see a good movie. Like I saw 2001 for the first time in 70 millimeter actually at Tower back in January, and that was like really cool because I'd never seen it before. And that's also kind of how I saw Vertigo for the first time. It was in a theater at one of the local state ones, which is really cool. And I noticed that since the pandemic, most theaters have been putting out classic movies like maybe a couple times a month, and there's one down in Folsom which does it every Sunday and Wednesday night because they realized just how profitable it was. Like because during the pandemic, our drive-in in Sacramento was the most successful movie theater in the whole country, and they were just putting out great movies like double bills of like Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, or Beetlejuice and Nightmare Before Christmas, or Logan's Run, all sorts of great old stuff. People were just lining up to see it nonstop, and so they've been starting to put those out more often now because they know there's the market for it.
That's very cool that you still have a drive-in.
Oh yeah. No, the drive-in
I
is.
wish we had one.
It's definitely.
I'm gonna go switch my laptop real quick because my phone's about to die, so I'll be back in a bit.
Okay, see you soon.
Hurry back, Cat.
Yeah,
I did hear that. I do remember that Alamo had a thing once where they were showing all of the Lord of the Rings, and they were serving meals throughout. So you could have breakfast and second breakfast, and then third breakfast, and then supper, and then dinner, and tea in between those. And that sounded like a blast. I could see going to something like that with a group of friends and just,
do that. I'd even do that alone. Just like, Mom's going on a vacation.
It was 3 figures, I think, because they just fed you all day long like a hobbit.
And that's almost a staycation, Jill. If you just park it there for a whole damn day, that'd be great.
Yeah, and they know where I am if they need me.
Scotty would love it. The extended editions of the Lord of the Rings film, Scott. Let's go. That just was out there.
Let's go. Let's go.
You'll love it.
I
can only imagine you being captured in theater.
I'll try heroin for the first time that day.
Well, yeah, it would be like a Clockwork Orange kind of thing for Scotty.
Don't do heroin.
Oh, it would be. It would be. You'd be scratching my corneas. But I don't want to poop on other people's happiness and their fandom. Like I do have my opinions. No, but I do have my
I started it.
But I don't want to.
As Captain Affinity said.
Delightful.
Absolutely.
Michael.
I do like that not rebirth, but a greater interest in reviving the few drive-in screens that still hung on from their heyday. At one point, I can remember that we had 6 drive-ins, and a couple of them were multi-screen ones, and we're down to 1, and it's just outside the metro, and there's one across the river. It's only a couple of miles from where I live, on the Iowa side, and we had the same COVID experience, and the attendance is carried over because it's both nostalgia for some, and it's that fresh experience for people who never got to go to one and were motivated to do so finally. So just like those small theaters that start to dim out over time and then are polished up and reintroduced, I dig it. I dig it the most.
Well, and I got to see No Time to Die at the drive-in whenever I have an opportunity to go check it out. It is the only movie theater that I'm allowed to smoke at, and because it's in my car. And then also pricing, like if you can get like Tuesday night, you can go and watch 2 movies for $15. Like that's better than actually going to cheap Tuesdays at the local Cineplexes. Or if they have the all-nighters on long weekends. There's one that's just 20 minutes down the road from me, and I try and check it out as much as possible. But also I don't like going to the drive-in by myself. It's usually a collective experience. As opposed to me being Lee Harvey Oswald in a Nissan Versa, just sitting there power smoking and watching, Inside Out 2.
It's time to crack out.
Look at me.
It's time to bust out that hibachi, right, man? And I said I'll grab the steaks, so no doubt, blankets down.
No, but that's great. But they did get strict. I don't know if this happened to anybody else, but like they would be checking the trunk because you might be smuggling someone in the trunk. And they would also do flashlights in the back seat to see if you brought like bags of groceries so that you can sit there and eat Twizzlers and drink Colt 45. And yeah, it's they're a little tighter on the security, but once you get in there, it's fantastic. And I do think that it's something it's fun to see. It's fun to see like the families go out because there's like a playground just underneath the screen, and they're playing the oldies music because everybody thinks of like American Graffiti when you think about the drive-in. It's great. Hey, what's going on, Lance?
Say what? I'm literally got my dinner cooking in the oven. I'm just popping on here because I want to give a shout out to the late great Donald Sutherland, who was one of the best actors that ever lived in my lifetime, and he passed away yesterday. And this is an open culture discussion, and I feel it's warranted, even though he didn't have a role in Star Trek, sadly. But yeah, I literally just got in from teaching a 6-hour acting workshop. I do have food on the go. I saw Jill's invite, and I thought, well, I'll do a whiz pop in briefly to say R.I.P. Donald Sutherland. You were an absolute legend, and I loved you in almost everything I saw you in, from Kelly's Heroes, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, The Eagle Has Landed, right through
Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah, all of those, plus the Hunger Games, and just, I mean, what an amazing actor. I don't think we'll see another one of his. There's probably only a few people of his kind of era, like Robert Redford and a couple of others who are still going, and yeah, we just don't have actors of that caliber around now. I'm very sad at his passing, but
yeah,
hope that was all right. Sorry to pop in with the random Sutherland rant, but
it's not random at all, because this show's supposed to be random. It's a open pop culture discussion, so randomness is what we're here.
And by the way, I'll also argue that Sutherland would have made a great Spock. Just going to say that he would have he's got the face. He would have made a great Spock. If it hadn't been Nimoy, I would have had. If I could have chosen anyone else to play that role, Sutherland would have.
Yeah, he would be a good Vulcan human.
Definitely would have been a good backup. Good backup Spock. I'm not saying he would have been better than Nimoy.
Well, you don't have to mess with his eyebrows.
This is very true, and he's got the Vulcan face, so you know.
And I just pictured like a double take from almost every film that he's liked to do. You mentioned Kelly's Heroes. I can just picture him, though I'm not sure what specific scene it might be, giving somebody side eye and then cocking his head and the eyebrow raises. What an incredibly expressive face. Canada definitely lost a favorite son.
Yeah, I think that was the first movie I ever saw him in, and no one can say eating some cheese and taking in the rays quite like Sutherland. So, yeah, man, damn, what a loss. But he seemed like he'd been around forever, so a life well lived. But yeah, big loss for me personally.
Absolutely, and I think for moviegoers at large, again, to sort of to dovetail off of, and I will return back to the Sutherland that is Donald, like if you feel that modern cinema is sort of letting you down and failing you, all you have to do is look backwards and find some of the greatest gems that you didn't even know that you wanted to see. And while I don't celebrate, I do mourn, and I celebrate the career. I don't celebrate the passing. But if you're curious about stuff that you've never seen, go check out some Donald Sutherland movies. What a better way! What a great way to celebrate not only his life but also expand your own experiences with film.
Yeah, I did a stream on him, an impromptu stream when he passed last night, and we kind of went through his IMDb credits. And I established there's about 20 films of his that I need to watch that I haven't seen, including a fun one where he plays the father of William H. Macy, and William H. Macy is a kind of incompetent assassin. It's called Panic. And somebody else said, "Oh, you've got to see that." And I'd never seen it. So that and several other movies. I mean, he's got such a long repertoire. He never stops working, never, not for a couple of weeks. So there's a lot of movies. I'm not saying everything he did was great, but I think there are some good roles of his that
I argue that everything he did was always worth watching.
Yeah,
I think never nominated for an Academy Award, which kind of tells you everything you need to know about the Academy.
Did he not get nominated for that scene in JFK? I feel like he did.
Not for anything.
That's an acting.
And he's why
lesson.
Jane Fonda won her award for Clute, because he was so wonderful in that.
Well, I'm glad that Tiger Stripes and I have found this amazing bond of unity over this, because I couldn't agree with you more. He was robbed of not being an Oscar. He should have got an Oscar for Best Actor, Supporting Actor for JFK. Absolutely, that's one of the best pieces of acting in any film ever. That whole sequence, that 15-minute scene, it's just incredible. Anyway, but I've said enough. But yeah, just wanted to pop on and say that I've got to go and cook a massive steak now.
Oh, that sounds great.
It does.
Your food always looks amazing. You showed us your burger one time and you made everyone.
Oh yeah, that's right. Good night. Jill, I might send you a steak picture shortly. How long are you guys going to be on? If you're still on when I've finished, I'll pop back on. But...
We're probably only going for another hour.
Okay, well.
So if we miss you, I hope you have a great Friday.
I might catch you at the end, but
have a great rest of your night.
Thank you so much, and thanks to everyone. Big love to everyone. I'll see you soon.
Cheers. Yep. Thanks for stopping by, Lance. And also, Donald Sutherland did get an honorary Academy Award,
but never nominated for any kind of Academy Award. Not in supporting, not in lead.
Lance, are you still here?
No, I'm definitely not still here and listening. What's happening?
Okay, I just wanted to give you a chance to promote your stuff in case we don't get to see you later.
Oh, I've been on so briefly. I don't feel like I don't feel I'm allowed that chance. That's very accommodating of you. I had one of the cast from Alive, the Ethan Hawke, plane crashes in the Andes thing that was remade on Netflix recently. The Spanish actor who was on that, Jose Zuniga, saw my video on it on YouTube, contacted me personally via Instagram, wants to come on the channel and talk about his experience working on Alive. So we're just trying to work out a date, and I've got Nikki Marshall from The Shield and Animal Kingdom coming on the 26th of June. So she'll be on for an interview as well. Plus all the usual stuff, Band of Brothers every Sunday breakdown, and there'll even be some Star Trek stuff at some point. I'm still trying to get the Deep Space Nine guy back on when he can get his computer fixed. So,
yes, of course, yes, I'll be ready for that. I already
the stunt coordinator for pretty much the entire show of Deep Space Nine. Dennis is a lovely guy, but he's technically, unfortunately, sorting out the interview with him is proving very problematical. But I'm doing my best.
Well, I'm sure when it actually happens, it'll be fantastic, and I bet he cares about how he's presented, and he wants to make sure that he sounds good. And
I
I would
think if we
understand
can just
that.
get a connection, it would be a good start. We can do a phone call, but we can't quite get an online video call worked out yet. So, but listen, Jill, when that happens, you're going to be my co-host for sure. So,
I appreciate that.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. All right, guys. I'll catch you later. I'm dashing back to the kitchen now.
Okay. See you later.
That's my,
And welcome back to Cat.
Yes, his avatar is actually my favorite Donald Sutherland character.
Oh yeah, he was talking about him.
Top 3 for me. I just have a thing for MASH and his portrayal in that. I'm just a huge MASH fan, so that's top 3 for me. And then actually, I think it might be Body Snatchers, because when he turns, points his finger, opens his mouth, and just scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. That just indelible right there. So.
Oh
yeah, I love Kelly's Heroes. That's one of my favorite movies.
Well, my dad hates him.
He does? Oh.
Yes.
Well,
I mean, my dad.
is that for real?
Yeah, he met
Something
him.
personal?
Yes, they met at the Toronto International Airport. My dad was doing security at the time, and apparently Donald Sutherland was rather snooty, pompous, and dismissive of the security people. And so my dad did not enjoy Donald Sutherland. I do. I still love MASH. I still love Outbreak.
Think the man's in the ground yet, and I don't want to talk ill. But one hears stories along that bent, about him.
Well, I don't
From multiple
hate.
sources, not just your dad. So
I think that there is a certain level, there are people who can be
that's why it's
gracious.
good not to get to know the people that you love as artists that well, because everybody inevitably has a failing somewhere. So
Yeah, that's what everybody who's met
yeah,
me
and
says.
and some people are just having a bad day and they just want to get away.
Never meet your heroes.
yeah,
Yeah,
really.
it's catchphrase, and it's I mean, it's a hit and miss. It's been a hit and miss for me, kind of thing. But if you imagine that person is a stranger, because we have to give them their humanity. I mean, that they are, vaunted socially, or we're a fan, or been with me my whole life, enjoy, kind of deal. Then that's giving it too much weight. And I'm not trying
And
to.
the
I'm
only-
not trying. Go ahead.
I agree with you completely. The only time to do that is when you've bought tickets for an autograph or a photo op or something where they're agreeing to have that kind of interaction from fan to a celebrity kind of thing. But outside of that, I definitely do think treating them like a normal person is the way to go.
Well, introduce yourself as a normal person, even if you are paying for the privilege of the signature, because there is, I think that is something that's interesting when you do approach, when you go to a convention, or if you happen to spot your favorite celebrity in the wild, you do have a personal connection to them, but they don't know you whatsoever, and so it is sort of one-sided in terms of your adoration versus their job. I'm always taken back to when Brent Spiner is like, you know what? I never even watched Star Trek The Next Generation. I showed up, I did my job, and I left. I know 7 episodes. It's and I think that there is a disconnect there. But when you do meet someone who is gracious and sort of generous with their time and attention, just be aware and thankful of it, so long as they aren't complete and total jerks.
With that, and I kind of have this stock. I don't really walk up to every performer that I could, but when there is someone who is special to me, Bob Mould, for instance, I have kind of a set speech that a little phrase. I don't know what. I'll give it to you right now. Hi, I've had the honor of appreciating your art for blah 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 years, and this were key moments for me, and I hope that you continue to produce whatever it is that pleases you. May the road rise to you. Have a good evening. And that's that kind of short contact. That's kind of like a polite introduction at a cocktail party. Hey, I'm this. It's the elevator speech. If you limit your adulation to that kind of thing, and you don't do it with puppy eyes or a pen and a piece of paper ready, isn't the memory worth it?
Yes. Well, and that's
Yeah, and-
something. I was at Fan Expo when George A. Romero was still alive and kicking, and I went outside and I had a cigarette, and we stood about 10 feet apart, and I had a cigarette, he was smoking, and we looked at each other as common smokers, because there's a bond there, as people who are forced to the outside to ingest their vices. And so we waved, and that is the only interaction I had with George A. Romero, and it made my heart swell 3 times, or its size that day.
Yes, and my husband also smoked with LeVar Burton.
Hey, I didn't know LeVar
Actually-
smokes. Take a look. It's in a book.
Well, it's like,
I
it's like you
smoke
mentioned.
menthols.
Well, it's like you mentioned, you get the autograph for the interaction more than the autograph.
Absolutely. Although I still have my my Terry Farrell weed box that I had her sign, and it was a disaster. I went up, I asked her to sign the box. She said, I would be happy to sign your box. And I said, that sounds dirty. And she said, only because you're making it that way. At which point I had to pivot, and I had to say, I loved you on Becker, so that I wouldn't just be another person who was like fawning over Deep Space Nine. And we had like a 10 or like a 5-minute, 7-minute conversation about Becker. And then at the end, I was like, so why weren't you in the montage at the end of Deep Space Nine? And she said, you'd have to talk to the producers. And then I got to see What We Leave Behind, the Deep Space Nine documentary, where she goes into great detail. But no, it was a lovely interaction. She was very pleasant to me.
Yeah.
And I've told this story before. She said, you remind me of Tom Bergeron. And I said, is that a good thing? And she said, well, he's hot. And I was like, okay, I'll take it. And then we parted ways. And we
so
never spoke
wrong
again.
that she wasn't in that montage with how important she was to the whole show.
Agreed.
Jakes.
Did I say hi to Cam Cam yet?
Cam Cam.
I'm having no. Hey Cam Cam.
Oh, I did want
favorite thing about
to,
the way that you constructed how you speak to celebrities, DJ Play Nice, is that you included that the end of the conversation in the introduction. like you know their time is valuable, and that you just wanted to share that.
Not that I haven't been a fanboy. I wasn't a fanboy at one time. And Scotty, that jaded thing that we were vibing on before, I am kind of that. It takes a lot to impress me, and it's because I've just seen so much. You know, we're talking about Rush earlier. I'm in the Orpheum Theater. It's the 1990 tour. I mean, there's one blissful moment, you know, Peart's doing, you know, his drum solo. I mean, I'm not always going to remember something from every show, because it's damn near impossible. Do you remember something from every television show you saw for the last 30, 40 years? It's difficult to do. And I do pick and choose much more now. I used to be, my band count on a weekend, starting on a Thursday and ending Sunday matinee, would be at least a dozen live performances. You get triple bills at this club or whatever kind of thing, and I don't spin anymore. I'm not a DJ anymore actively in clubs. So, but the live music and like rock music, that's been my thing. And I've tapered that down. And I can't believe, and here's an admission, my last 2 shows were Lionel Richie, because it was like 8th row, it was fun, and Robert Plant and Alison Krauss. And it's odd that, you know, it's like I don't have any shows to intermingle though. And that's very strange for me, but this isn't a getting to know DJ, so I pass it back.
Well, I don't know. There's something like when meeting icons, your personal icons. I don't want to say celebrities or heroes or anything so grandiose, but like when you see icons that you've sort of grown up with your entire life, I do tend to sort of shy away from meeting them, because I don't. It's like in Community when Troy is like, you can't disappoint a picture. And so you're not gonna get in the grill of people that you've loved your entire life. But I was at Fan Expo and I saw Stan Lee and I saw the lineup and I was like, this is good enough. Being in the same room as Stan Lee is fantastic. Or another time, different year, Haley Atwell was there in the height of Agent Carter. And I went with a buddy of mine and he was like, so you've been talking about this for like a month. You wanted to go meet Haley Atwell. And I turned to him and I was like, I don't think I'm going to do well if I show up there. It's just going to turn into me standing there going, humana, pretty. So I'm happy enough just to be in the same room.
I always
like,
choke when I meet
there.
my idols. I completely clam up.
Yes, me too. That's why I'm
word.
just happy to wave, like you were saying earlier, Scotty. Just waving.
That's what
at
happened
my-
when I met William Shatner.
I did a
Yeah,
lot of
tell-
waving at the
I
Star
wanna
Trek
hear that.
convention.
When
Oh
did
yeah,
you meet Shatner?
I met Shatner at one time we had a con in Sacramento, and the con never came back. But he was there, and I paid for the autograph, and he was being very generous with his time with people. But I couldn't really think of anything to say because it was William Shatner. But he was he was really generous with everybody who was up there. Like, you could tell that you were the most important thing to him. Each person who came up to talk to him while he was there, he was really devoted to his time, and I really appreciated that. But I couldn't really think of much to say. So what I told him is, I had seen this special, I think it was a few years old at the time, from the History Channel called "How William Shatner Changed the World," and I said, you should really do another one of those because those are really cool. And he's like, I actually kind of want to do that, and eventually want to do some other similar things. But yeah, I couldn't think of anything else to talk about because it's like, yeah, you kind of freeze up. But that was really great.
That's lovely.
Yeah, definitely. That was a great choice. That was a great choice to talk to him about that. I want to thank Terrier for continuing his membership. And he's been a member for 1 month. And he also sends in a 50 Norwegian krones. With
Kroner.
that, he says, Kroner. Oh, excuse me. I don't know how to pronounce in Norwegian.
Nice, fine.
This show is great in the shower. Thank heavens for waterproof speakers and Bluetooth.
You missed a spot, Terrier.
I like the plural of Bluetooth being Bluetooth.
Bluetooth. Right on. That is creative. And Scotty, to grab, just riff a little bit on the last thing you were talking about. It's good enough. You're in rare air. That's the way I think about it sometimes. It's rare air, man. And to be there with that vibe, that electricity, that, oh, wow. And you have your father's example in an airport. One of my examples where it's just like, holy, can we swear, Jill?
Shit, yeah.
Yeah, reasonably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like,
Reasonably.
holy like, that person is tall. This is in Dallas. That person is tall. That person is bald. That person is, oh my God, tall. That person is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The man is 7'2". I'm 5'10". So, I mean, it's not absolutely, giant towering, but he's a very tall individual. So I just wow. And I'm a Lakers fan. So it was one of those where I met pace with him, and oh my God, with that inseam, I was nearly running a marathon to make it to the gate next to him, kind of deal. But again, I've always loved the enjoy the opportunity to see you play. Have a great day, kind of thing. But in awe, I was talking about that electricity and that vibe. To be in the presence of, I geeked. I was in my 20s. I just had to go walking over. That was silly.
Well, no, but it is sort of just being around, being like, hey, look at that, or not look at that, but look who that is, and seeing that. Like, I've been to a couple of cons. I've seen the twins from The Shining. Did I decide that I wanted to interact? No, but I did see them. I saw Ray Wise, and that was before I was really a Ray Wise fan. I was like, I do want to ask him about Good Night and Good Luck. At that point, I hadn't really rediscovered Twin Peaks, but it's so fascinating just because if you don't have anything to really engage with, the pleasure of seeing these people and being like, that is a real person. It's almost like as Vincent Vega said in Pulp Fiction, it's like a wax museum with a pulse.
Nice.
Yeah, well,
and pardon.
I just wanted to, add my bit here about, when you meet somebody famous, especially when it's unexpected. When I was on my holiday last weekend, we went to the BC Lions football game, and, I'm sitting there with my cousin and my friend, and my friend looks over like just a couple seats down in the row right in front of us, and he says, "Is that Louis Pasaglia?" And that might not mean nothing to you guys, but Louis Pasaglia, I'll just fill you a brief history. Probably the most famous player, one of the most famous players that ever played for the BC Lions. 24 years he played for the team. He was like the punter kicker. He kicked field goals that won Grey Cup games, championships, I mean, a very significant player in the team history. And my friend goes, "Is that Louis Bisaglia?" I'm saying, "No, it can't be. Why would he be sitting here with us? Like, he should have like a box seat or something, up above for the the wealthy people." And then it turned out it was him. So my friend Larry reaches over, says, "Nice to meet you, Louis," or whatever, shakes his hand. And so I shook his hand as well. I said, "It's great to meet you, honored to meet you," kind of thing, being a fan of his work all those years. And he was very gracious, like, very nice, very gracious. I could tell, just say hi and that's it. And he wants to enjoy the game like everybody else. And so we didn't, pester him at all. But then sadly, towards the end of the game, there was another fan that came up and started, going on and on and on with, and you could tell poor Louis is like, "Oh geez." It's like the price of fame kind of moment, right? So you kind of really have to be careful when you meet somebody famous that you admire and respect, and not to take it too far over the edge like some people sadly do. Anyway, that's basically it.
Yeah, definitely. Philip Gaming. I want to say hello to Philip Gaming.
Hey, Phil.
And, yeah, it's great that you are here.
There's a
The
take
Mirror
that if it,
Universe Captain's here. Go ahead.
one thing,
Go ahead, DJ.
one thing that I want to throw out there, in that vein, that I've always loved how celebrity feel about it. In this case, a musician, Red Hot Chili Peppers bass player Flea. If you look for MTV Flea Beans and Rice, it's 1 minute long. I just double checked. It's out there, and it's a great perspective. It's an artist's perspective on things, and it's kind of unexpected because we're used to those people having to be gracious, and wow, they aren't that that bubbly personality or whatever, but they still have to have that keeping up appearances. Many of them do. So yeah, Flea Beans and
So
Rice.
it's probably in between their real selves and their show selves.
Yes.
I watched Bratz this week.
Yes.
And it was really nice. Andrew McCarthy made a really nice point where he said that because they were all in the Brat Pack and they made these movies about teenagers, when people come up to him, they really don't want to relate to him even as a person or even as the character. They want to talk about where they were at that point in their life when they saw the movie, which is kind of interesting.
Sharing with your friend. Finally getting to talk to your friend that you haven't seen in such a long time. 1985 was a hell of a long ways away.
Nice observation by him.
No doubt. It's in my queue.
Yeah, people like to share. Oh, and for Terrier, I hadn't played him a video, so I'm going to play these two.
There are always possibilities, Spock said.
Now we have all that time in the world.
Oh my God.
Scotty at his cutest. He got his hair just right finally.
Yeah, right, because the network made him comb his hair weird for the whole season 3, and he was like, "Okay, fine, I'm gonna cut it really short now. See what you can do with me now." It worked.
Montgomery Scott, the original George Clooney.
To the celebrity, get their photo and autograph, and immediately walk away before you hear what they're talking about. What they're about, says Philip Gaming. Well, it depends on who it is, I suppose.
Yeah, like when I met Lorne Peterson at Star Wars Celebration in Chicago, we were talking for like 15 minutes because I was like the last person in his line for the day, and because he's like the main model builder on the first 2 Star Wars trilogies. So there was it was great, and talking, I was asking him specifically about the intricacies of how they actually made some of those models. And he appreciated that because it wasn't like the typical question of, "Oh, what was your favorite model?" or "What was your, or what did you like about that?" or that kind of thing. Sort of like if you get lucky to have, like when, what's his name? When Twinflix had Dean Cundy on and he was interviewing him, rather than asking him about the same iconic shots that everybody asks about, he actually got more into the art of cinematography, and you could tell that Cundy really lit up and loved that he was asking him about that. And so that's kind of what I do when I do get the chance to meet people like that is, what has this person not been already asked 10,000 times by the hundreds of people who've already gone through the line?
I've got a shortcut for you. And I've heard people do this, and I've ripped this wholesale in interviews that I've done with musicians. You've done 50 interviews in morning radio already on this tour, and you answered a lot of questions, and you answered a lot of the same ones. Who are your influences? What was it like when you guys got together? What's the next the next show coming up, kind of thing? Instead, ask, what's a question that you wish someone had asked you but never has? That allows them to come out. They get to, they go, good question. I think universally that's been the response to that. Good question. Yeah. They're actually sitting there for a second and trying to pick that moment because they haven't been provided that opportunity necessarily. And I'm not saying like I'm God's gift to interviewing skills, but I totally vibe on what you were saying there, man. And like, there it is. Or at least that's the way I think about it.
And before we continue this conversation, I want to welcome to the panel Knight Lucas. I shared the link out to a few places, and I just want to welcome you on. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm okay. I just wanted to know, so you sent me an invite. Was there something I'm supposed to do?
It's just, oh no, it's not anything specific. This is just a open hangout, and I think, are you Bat Kid?
Yeah, Bat Kid.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so you were sending me a message saying, that you'd want to talk about stuff. So I sent
yeah,
you the
cool.
link
Yeah,
for today. If you want to hang out,
cool. I'm in.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just a discussion. We're discussing meeting celebrities and interacting with them in a way that is beneficial to everybody. And it's been pretty good so far. Oh, hey, hello to the Phantasmagorian show. Hello, all you beautiful people. Uh-oh, there's quite a... Let me fix this.
Was that Steve? It must be
It's the AI of the chat.
Yeah, it would probably be Steve. I was hearing a bit of an echo, so if somebody's got their YouTube playing out loud, turn that off. All right. So, also Pop Culture Curator just walked in too. Hello to Pop Culture Curator. I don't know actually if I actually said hello to the Reluctant Dragon yet. He says I met Joe
Garagiola, yeah, baseball.
Garagiola unexpectedly, and I don't brag about it. Well, very good.
Was it a car accident?
Oh, right. You exchanged insurance. Well, then you get the phone number of somebody that you admire. That's interesting.
And their license plate number and their insurance agent and their address and their
yeah, their address is on the police report.
Careful, you're giving stalkers ideas.
Exactly. That's why I ripped on that. Thank you. I love it.
Oh, we don't have to be careful. It's surely. Captain Affinity says, well, I don't condone stalking behavior, but if that accidentally happens, all of those things are true.
I stalked exactly once. I was looking at a magazine. It was a Time magazine, I think. It's like a big deal. And they basically gave instructions on how to get to Michael Jackson's house. And I was going in that direction on the way home. And I thought, I'm going to follow these directions and just see if I get there. And I did. It was uncanny.
Are you talking Neverland or are you talking Gary, Indiana?
No, I'm talking the Valley. He lived in the Valley, and I was probably Encino at the time.
The Neverland Ranch?
It might have been. No. Encino,
okay, different
Tarzana.
house.
It was the house.
Pardon me.
And I got there. And how did I know I was there? I knew I was there because there was a lookalike standing outside of the house with the one glove and everything, which was really uncanny. I'm like, okay, so shame on Time magazine for giving everybody that information.
Wow, I wouldn't think of that from a major publication like that.
Yeah, it was super weird.
It was an ancient kind of doxing.
It was.
Well, those are like, pilgrimage sites. I mean, I was within 50 miles of Gary, Indiana, which is kind of an armpit of a city. Well, I went, the address is out there. It's a tiny, tiny house. So, a couple minutes, had a cigarette and thought about, wow, they crammed all those kids in this tiny little box. And it's right next to this huge school. And I mean, that's about it. Had my picture, had a couple of snaps taken in front of the house. I don't care if they still exist, sort of deal, but it was crazy. So I've done that.
Well, those kind of tours, or people pay money to take bus tours to celebrity houses and things.
Yeah.
I've never done that myself when I was in LA. But
Nor
Frank
have
Walker says, drive around Hollywood, crash it into all the cars you can.
That's good. Or you take one of those double-decker bus tours of the celebrity home, all that kind of stuff. Which I don't even know how that's like, how that becomes like a legal thing. You figure they would get sued or something like that for, handing out their addresses and, driving around on these tours, but no.
Yeah.
Well, it's public
Basically,
information. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. Yeah.
It's
if it is public information, and look, here's this hedge, and here's this hedge. Like, are you really going to see a whole lot?
It depends. I can remember hearing Carrie Fisher saying that she and her brother, when they were children, were playing on the lawn, and the tour buses would go by, and if the people had movie cameras, they would stand still, and if they had still cameras, they would run around like crazy. They were very aware of who was shooting what kind of film at them.
Nice.
And the kind of tropey person on the corner selling maps to the stars' homes kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
I think
I think they're still out there probably on Sunset
no doubt.
Boulevard.
And bags of oranges and do your windows.
I want to know who it is you have to call at Google to be able to get your house like grayed, like blotched out on Google Maps.
Did you do a Google search?
Places are.
I didn't even know
Is
that
that a
was a
thing?
service
You
could
can
do.
really get them blotched out?
Yeah, like I remember I was reading. It started where I was reading something about the Amityville horror story, like the real story, and I thought, oh, I'll look at what the house looks like today. So I had the address, so I looked on Google Earth satellite, got on view, but you could look at it from the aerial shot, but when you get on Street View, that particular address is all grayed out and blotched, so you can't see it. Same with Bruno Hauptmann's old house in the Bronx, and same with certain celebrity houses. And it's like, I don't know who you have to call to get permission to do that. To get them to do that for you, but it's like I'm sure a lot of people would love to do that because technically, if you check the copyright date because it'll tell you when you're on Street View when that photo was taken, like when the car drove by. So thieves and people could potentially use that to case a place. And it's like I would like to blotch out my house. That'd be nice.
It would be nice.
One story that I'm aware of because I'm a really big fan of A Christmas Story. That house in Cleveland, the current owners, now this might not be accurate, up-to-date information, but they turned it into a bed and breakfast. And sometimes they just, during the week would host tours of the house or whatever. What a great way to integrate having a residence like that, if you could tolerate it, kind of thing. It's a great way to ameliorate it, though, and also to benefit by the presence of those folks. Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing that happened to the Lizzie Borden house. It's a bed and breakfast and museum now.
Interesting. Yeah, cool.
Cool.
The one I saw was there's a set of houses, like 3 in a row, that were big in the Goonies. And the primary house, the current owners are really not friendly to people coming and taking photos, which everybody wants to do. But the 2 on either side hang out big sheets that have, spray painted on them, Goonie House 1, Goonie House 3, come on up. We'd love to see you. So there's a little battle going on, neighborhood feud.
The guy who bought the house that was Buffalo Bill's house from Silence of the Lambs is trying to turn it into a tourist attraction. And he's trying to, and even though they didn't shoot any of the basement scenes there, he's trying to remodel the basement to look like it does in the movie.
Oh, that's so
hell yeah! I'd pay the extra $5 to be in the hole and have like the whole lotion scene replayed. Hell yeah, dude! Yeah. That's an extra bonus.
There are definitely some fans who have collections that are impressive enough to make a museum. I wanted to read this from Booger414. He says, Ray Wise played one of the best devils on TV. Who is Ray Wise and what devil did he play?
More than a couple, I think.
Yeah.
But The Devil, I can't remember the name of that show. It was good. It was good. And he was notably Laura Palmer's dad in Twin Peaks, if that helps.
Okay, it says here Reaper.
That sounds right. It was good. I liked it.
2007. So
The
I haven't seen
Oddies.
that. Yeah. Well, I'm always looking for something new, so that's why I read that.
And just recently, Kat and I got to see Ray Wise in Fargo season 3.
Yeah, as
And-
the immortal guy, sort of. What was it? What was his name in the show?
I forget.
Yeah,
Ray Wise. His name was Ray Wise.
His name was Ray Wise.
But he was just sort of almost a prophet of sorts with a twinkle in his eye, and so good. Thank you. I guess that's Steve. Hey, Steve.
It is Steve. Hey, Steve. The Reluctant Dragon says there's no place to park near 461 Ocean Boulevard. A friend has the cops called on him when he stopped to check it out.
Youch. Is that in Malibu? I can imagine people in Malibu calling the cops on you.
And between Phantasmagorium and Captain Notfinity, we've got Blue Oyster Cult out there. I hear you guys. I hear it. It's a musical reference out there. You know, Jill,
461
like
Ocean
this-
Boulevard. That's Eric Clapton, ain't it?
the one from the name of the album. Yeah, I don't know if he lived there or not. Did he?
He lives.
Jill, I appreciate
where
that
I
this
live.
forum is provided. I mean, I'm just having such a good time, and we're hitting so many subjects that seem to be of interest to nearly everyone gathered here, unless I misread. So, thank you.
Yeah, I agree completely. And yes, the chat is very interesting also. And I'm trying to find a few of those that we missed out on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely Steve. That would be how he says hi. Hello, all you beautiful people.
Beautiful people.
Yeah.
Right back at you, pal.
Franco Walker's worked with a few famous people. Some of them are nice enough. And
Yeah,
also,
people are people. They're all different.
Google Maps has my sister's house mislocated by about half a mile, says the Reluctant Dragon. One of my favorite things that happened with Google Maps was my great grandpa. He always spent time outside, chatting with neighbors, doing things outside. And so, for one occasion, for a brief period, Google Maps showed my grandpa in his motorized chair in front of the house. But also, if you went around to the back of the house, he was also there too. And so
That's great.
Yeah, it was a hilarious thing for our family to discover on Facebook. And then somebody said, if you look closely, he's also on the roof.
It's like there's 3 of them. Let's see. Yeah, but that's the same
Booger-
thing. I would love
yeah.
to know who to call
Yeah,
to
go
get
ahead.
like who to call to get like an unlisted address. Like, oh, I don't want like say my address or my phone number listed in the phone book or in the address book. So who do I call to make sure it's unlisted?
How do you opt out for this community?
Yeah.
Pop Culture Curator says several houses in LA are blurred out, and that makes sense. It does. And and Booger 414 says the Amityville house has not only been renovated, they changed the name of the street so that it no longer has the address it once did.
Yeah, that's true. But it's also in a lot of instances like that where they'll change the address if something horrible happened there. It's still really easy to find their addresses. But I looked at it and it's like they renovated probably the inside. The outside still kind of looks the same with the the iconic shape and the windows. But yeah, if you go by on Street View, it's completely grayed out.
It's like the phenomenon of the 13th floor. It just kind of doesn't exist, but we know it's there.
Yeah.
It's still there, just nobody uses it. Or, oh yeah, we were talking about Max Headroom earlier, and
Yeah.
the prevailing opinion was that there was no 13th floor. Of course, whenever you go in the elevator, usually they skip the 13, and so everybody just thought there was no 13. but apparently there was, and shenanigans are going on there. But I haven't seen
still
the rest
find
of
it-
the episode to find out what's
I
happening.
still find it fascinating that that's actually
Rest of
true.
the
You go to a
series.
lot of buildings, there's no 13th floor. And it's like, are people really that superstitious?
I think there's no
Yes.
fourth floor in China because the Chinese, I think it's for the Chinese character, it's the same word for death or something very similar. So that's a superstition there.
Huh.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
people
strange.
being afraid of numbers.
But it's literally still there's a fourth floor, so it's irrelevant.
Right, exactly.
It only
It's
in
in my
it has no meaning in English or Mandarin. I mean, it's all insane, but
If you're on the 14th floor, I hate to break the news to you.
But it's the 13th.
I love you, Scotty.
Old band in Austin, the 13th floor elevators.
Yep. I was going to bring them up. It's good to know that someone else on the panel is hip to that.
Rocky Erickson, I think, was in the 13th floor elevators.
What a
originally.
crazy career. What a great guy. Grab the biography. Yeah. Documentary, too.
oh, I was incorrect. There are no 4th, 13th, or 14th floors. They have 3.
Wow,
So-
they could cut 3 of them out. That's wild.
Just start labeling your floors A, B, C, D, E. Like you can only have 26 floors.
Then they're gonna find letters they don't like, Scotty.
Yeah, exactly. No F's.
Well, after you get to what would be the 27th floor, it would be just AA and then AB and then
Oh,
AC.
sure.
But AA people would think that, oh, okay, there are AA meetings up on that floor.
That's where they have them.
So that's where I get my free coffee and donuts.
Exactly. It's the only floor you can smoke. on.
Kidding.
My name is Tiger Stripes, and I am an eBay-aholic.
eBay's still out there?
Oh boy, is it.
I
Always waiting.
haven't since I stopped collecting toys. I haven't been on eBay in years.
It's like the warehouse at the end of Raiders. It's always there.
Oh man. I just picked up a DVD copy, original printing of 48 Hours. I went to my Salvation Army and I scanned to see what DVDs and Blu-rays they have. As soon as I saw 48 Hours, I was like, okay, boom, that's coming with me. $3 later, I go home and I check it out and I'm like, what was this natural response? What was this sort of like spiritual connection to, okay, get 48 Hours. So I go and I check on eBay and it's like a $45 DVD. It's out of print. Again, I would assume. Yeah. Well, but this is the worst part is that I'm not going to sell it. I want 48 Hours. So I think eBay does provide treasures.
I do the same thing with records. I'll play them, but somebody's going to end up being gifted them. As a matter of fact, that's just kind of the plan that I've been on. I can't remember who I was like kind of chitter chatting with out there in the text chat before I joined panel, but the joy that I see in other people's faces and knowing that something is either going to be used, repurposed, or maybe it's chucked in the garbage can or becomes a white elephant or it's at a garage sale. Kind of don't give a shit after I give it, but in those moments, that kind of genuine appreciation when it's been considered what it is that you're giving. So you want that signed Motorhead, 10-inch? You got it, man. It's just like, how does that happen? Kind of thing. I mean, think of all the times I hope everyone has several of them when someone's just dropped a pearl on you, giving you a gem. I was thinking about you and I sent you the VHS triple set before they started editing the Star Wars stuff. I did that for somebody. So
we used to do local toy and comic shows for years, and I would love, like I mentioned earlier, how I purged all my comics that way and all that. But I used to love because some parents would bring their kids, and you'd give kids something that they thought that you just give it to them because they're kids and you just to see their faces and to know that this thing you gave them, this Pokemon thing or whatever, is going to be totally loved for a few years is a great joy.
Yeah.
Worth everything.
It is like when you're collecting stuff but you're ready to get rid of it, it is always nice to know that it's going into hands that'll appreciate it. But we only have about 15 to 20 minutes left, and I haven't heard too much from that kid Knight Lucas. I was wondering, do you have any topics you wanted to talk about today? before our show wraps up? Or if he's even there. I don't even know if he's there.
If who is?
Oh,
You, sir.
hello. You, yeah,
Right.
you're here. And so I haven't heard from you today, and I was wondering if you had anything you wanted to talk about.
Oh well, I think I'm enjoying listening in on it. But
Alright.
sure, we can talk about something. What would you like to talk about?
Oh, well, that's what I was asking you. Well, I guess
Well,
I just
it's
thought I'd give you an.
summer.
I thought yeah, it is. It's summer.
Summer's my favorite season.
Yeah, but it's been really rainy here. There's been a
Oh,
tropical
that's
storm.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, why is it raining on your end, but it's all bright?
Yeah,
and
because it
sunny?
was a tropical. Well, it's not raining anymore, but there was a tropical storm. It didn't turn into a hurricane, so that's good news for everybody. But it's
You know
still
what? Yeah,
caused a
that's
bunch of
something
flooding.
unfortunate about summer season. In some areas, it rains more often.
Mm.
Jill, are you coastal?
Yeah, I am. Yes, I am. I'm on the
Uh,
coast. I got the beach right a few minutes away.
Oh,
Well,
I
that's
want to talk
nice.
about that sometime for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know very many people who have to take hurricanes into consideration, so I enjoy some of the stories sometimes for sure.
Yeah, but the trade-off is that there aren't as many tornadoes like other parts of Texas, so I get a lot more warning with the hurricane. You're like, okay, this thing is big, it's coming in. Do you want to stay in town? You got plenty of time to figure it out.
What, tornadoes just come out of nowhere, shocking you?
Yeah, they do.
No, yeah, they do. Yes, they do.
No, they
Well, then-
RSVP 3 days ahead of time. No, I enjoy because here I am, and I will rock you like a hurricane.
Scorpion's Rift, Jesus. I love it.
I know that was groan worthy, but I had to say it.
I love it though, dude. I mean, it's just yeah.
Yeah, well, Gorilla's always getting tornadoes lately. It seems this year, like he's got a lot of them over the last couple of months, and
We're on the
now
top end.
he's got floods. Like, go figure, right?
Moist
We're on the top.
Minnesota.
Yeah,
We're in the top. Damn, I just keep messing up like that.
If only I was a speedster, I could make my own tornadoes.
You know, as superpowers go, why? Like, I guess if you read, I guess they do that at the end of the Fantastic Four movie. They do make it. So yeah, no, there is a practical application for your super speed to make a hurricane or make a tornado. I would get dizzy.
I mean, well, you'll be extremely fast, and you'll be able to, I think,
That's what
withstand
she
more
said.
than the average person. I don't think you'll get dizzy, but I never had the ability, so who am I to say?
Well, exactly. Maybe I'm talking out of my what is it?
I'm only going by comic book logic, so we
Yeah, I
have-
think
yeah.
when
You're
you're
cool.
that fast, time slows down, like that time in a bottle sequence. It's so brilliant.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't perceive things going fast because you're going fast yourself. It's all relative.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see the lady's disappointment in real time. Good to know.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But
Let's
this
see
is
what,
no, this is fantastic. Do you obviously, Jill? You have plans to celebrate a life, someone
yes.
who has brought a lot of joy. I was curious what anybody else's sort of weekend plans are. If they have any excursions, any trysts that are on the card.
I am going to talk about my friend this week, and I'm going out to the memorial service for Cloburn Times, but after that, a long time ago, like months ago, we planned a family vacation to Cirebon, so I'll be doing both of those things this coming week. But that's a good question. Does
I was
anybody
gonna
have any
say,
weekend
where are you
plans?
going? And it's like none of your damn business, sir.
A water park.
A water park.
A water park.
Who doesn't like a good water park?
I've always wanted to go to a water park.
Mm. Well, yeah.
Hey,
I can kind of hear myself. I think it might be.
could be my fault. Hey, Mr.
I
Miles.
don't know. It's somebody's fault. Whoever has their YouTube on out loud. Hello, Mr. Miles.
Yeah, I always
Yeah, I
have
can
mine
hear my
turned
echo.
off. I always have mine off.
Do you just PvP? You just returned from a sojourn. What do you got planned for the weekend?
Well, nothing as exciting as last weekend, unfortunately. Let's see. I have an appointment this afternoon in about an hour and a half. So that's not too exciting, but that's about it. Well, I guess if Gorilla is still going to do his Walton stream later this afternoon, I'll probably pop on there because
That was actually
like to do,
that was
yep.
probably an episode of the Waltons, is when there was a flood.
There probably was one. I mean, I don't remember it in particular, but
I didn't watch it ever.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I don't. Day's kind of open, really. I don't have a whole lot planned today or tomorrow because, yeah, I mean, gee, it's kind of an open weekend, I guess, which I guess is not a bad thing necessarily. So,
Well, honestly, this is actually a good point for us to go celebrate those weekends or enjoy the weekends, as it were. And so, if there's anything else you want to share about what you're doing online, or I guess you'll have some extra time to work on setting up those videos that you want to post and upload about your trip to see the damned.
yeah, I should try to do that. I really should. Actually, I guess you probably got the email. I did send you a few videos from the Commodore in Vancouver. Not a lot of them being posted yet. My cousin's got some. I'll probably send those to you one of these days too. But they're just very short clips, nothing too extravagant. So, but yeah, last weekend was great fun. This weekend, it's pretty laid back. Nothing much happening really. So nothing too exciting. But yeah, I should try and get some of those uploaded onto my channel. Should be not too difficult to do, I suppose. So. Yeah, but I guess that's about it, Jill. If you want to wrap it up, I don't have a whole lot to add right now. So,
Hey, thank you, PvP. So Nala, Doc, what's going on? What's going on this weekend for you?
Cleaning.
And cleaning.
Yay!
Oh no, cleaning.
And maybe, if with any luck, get to see my granddaughter. So
That's
Oh,
nice.
Delightful.
Yeah, that feels good.
Mhm. Oh yeah, good luck with that. I hope so.
I haven't seen her in a while. So.
Yeah. You can have small
Well, I did
children.
get dinner with my son this weekend, so that was good. Or this week.
Yeah, those giant burgers you had.
Yeah, you saw the photos.
How huge were they?
We have a place here called Thurman's Cafe that it's probably close to 12 ounce the burger, but you're probably looking, my son had a burger that was called the Therminator, and it was probably stacked about 6 inches tall with ham and things on top and all these toppings. It was insane.
Interesting.
Yikes.
Interesting.
Best place for burgers I've ever had.
They did look amazing.
Yeah, it was very good.
Hey, Tiger Stripes, thank you for hanging out today. What are you up to
Hey,
this weekend?
thanks.
And is there anything you want to share?
Do I want to share it? That's the thing. Do I want to open myself up to endless ridicule? Yeah, probably not, right?
No, it's
I
up
do
to
it all
you.
the time.
Reveal your secrets. I'm just kidding.
There's a doll convention in the area, so it's, I can get there, and it's not the kind of doll that I'm interested in, and it's an actual proper convention, but the sales room is open on Saturday, and I found out about it because one of the people I follow on YouTube is going to be there, and we had a little interaction in her comments, and she's like, "Oh, come find me, come find me." And I'm like, "Oh, do I really want to go stalk one of my favorite YouTubers? That seems slightly odd." However, and I don't really collect this kind of doll. It's a BJD convention. That's not my deal. But, sales rooms are fun. It'd be a little trip, maybe meeting somebody that might be fun to meet.
What's
in real life.
BJD?
Ball jointed doll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
they
even if it's
originally
not the
came
kind of
from
doll you
Asia,
like.
and they're very expensive. And people, they hold their value. People collect them. Not my deal. But I thought, this might be a fun excursion.
Something you might
I
learn
sing
from.
karaoke with people all over all over the internet now, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah, so
And
there you go.
inevitably, I
And
do some of that on the weekend.
I hope you do enjoy meeting the YouTuber that you enjoy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Munetta's Poupées and Dolls is the name of her channel, if anybody's into that.
Well, and yeah, and you could probably talk to her about the ones you do like.
Well, yeah, I certainly wouldn't stand there and go, I really don't like BJDs. You know, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say, hi, I like all your content. You know, do that friendly thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is always good to hear.
Yes.
Oh, wait. No, we did that one. Wait. Okay, here we go. DJ Play Nice, hey.
Hey, what's happening?
Hey, what's happening with you? What's up? Okay, so this
hi.
echo is driving me bananas. Let me see. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so yeah, so what's up this weekend, and is there anything you want to share before we close out today?
All right, handshake. Thank you very much for that. I'd like to buy the world a Coke.
It's not a new.
No one's gonna go with the next line. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I thought.
No, I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah. Would that message were true, and yeah, that mountainside, a little bit like, yeah, okay. So, Jill, no, I did toss up some embarrassing unedited clips from the concert that I mentioned earlier, just because of my proximity to the stage and helping a friend capture some stuff. I don't create content, but I do try to have an impact in the places that I go, and this is the one, and I try to make it a positive one, and typically an uplifting one. My ears are always going to be open, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. Rad panel, rad topics, rad text chat. Rock.
Thanks. Well, and DJ, I really do appreciate you sort of swinging by and giving a thumbs up to us talking about THX 1138. Thank you for checking out our content. That's Kat and mine. That's really. I'm happy that you're happy with the convincing.
Yeah. And and I'm glad that you're producing that content. And I say this, with absolute heart, man. It's just like effort is often underappreciated, and the way that the millions of opportunities, sometimes it's hard to find the good stuff. You guys are good stuff, and I do like the casual conversation thing. So yeah, man, swinging through, popping that, listening for 5 minutes or so, and then I got a boogie.
Fair enough. Like, you already liked THX 1138. You didn't have to hear us talk about how much we loved it, but I appreciate you showing some love and saying, hey, if you're a fan, be a fan. And so thank you.
Yes, sir. My pleasure.
Yeah, that's a good time. And I just want to thank Bat Kid for hanging out today. I know that he was on. Oh, okay. You can unmute yourself if you want to talk a little bit. He was here when we reviewed the Phantom Menace, and so he's here again today.
Good.
Yeah.
Delightful.
So,
did you
if there's
literally
anything
just forget the name of Star Wars Episode 1?
I got there.
Okay. I'm
No.
sorry for poking. Yes, you did.
Anyway, like this. If there's anything you want to share, if you can hear me, you can unmute yourself and let us know what's going on. If you can wear headphones next time, I think that would help with the echoing issue. But I'll see if you're here in a little bit. Oh, somebody popped back in. Oh, okay.
We have a secondary Knight Lucas.
Yeah, now we have 2 of them.
Oh no! Now there are 2 of them.
No, there are 0.
No, I'm Nimodian.
I do love that picture of the Damned PvP.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, it's off their first album cover. It's kind of a classic, I gotta say.
No doubt. Knuckles on that, man.
It's fun. Yeah.
That guy was a really early goth too.
Yeah, back in the early 80s, they went goth for quite a while there, didn't they? Yeah. I love The Damned. I think they're a great band. I think it's kind of unfortunate so many people don't seem to know about them, but they've got quite an extensive history, and I think they got a lot of really good songs. So
Hey
Yeah.
man, you got that footage you were talking about maybe doing it kind of thing? I mean, go look at the dopey bullshit that I tossed up on mine. I've got some views on it. That's not what I'm trying to do. It was, to please myself a little bit because I don't publish. And you've got some good stuff. You got that venue. You got early on in the tour kind of thing. So yeah, toss that stuff out. You can always take it down if you don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. There's not a lot. My cousin just took a few short clips, so it's not much.
If you're ever worried about being embarrassed on the internet, look at the internet and then just gauge accordingly.
Yeah, that's a very valid point, Scotty. Yeah. Yeah, I'll try. I'll see if I can get some of those uploaded on here today, because I've never actually done an actual upload of any of my own stuff. So that'll be a learning process for sure, but hopefully it won't be too painful.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
try.
That's a big key. Have fun. And I want to
Yeah.
say thank you to Darth Cat for being here today. What are you up to this weekend? And do you have anything you want to share?
Not much this weekend. I might go check out some of those new movies that open. Other than that, no, I got a pretty open weekend.
I'll see you at the In-N-Out Burger.
There you go. You're gonna have burgers, so there you go. Good.
Well,
plan.
it just depends on how quickly my passport, shows up.
Yeah, your passport. will
Did
probably
you
take
apply?
Yeah, I applied. I still have to get the picture and have it duly signed by a notary public.
Oh, good deal. Then you'll be in
Wow.
New Jersey soon.
That's my primary goal. I'm not going to be able to do it this weekend, but you will be first to know when I do get to New Jersey, because I have to get to Red Bank before.
Exciting things are happening.
I want to go, man. I got to go to
I
the Quit Stop. I want to go see a movie at the Smog Castle. I want it.
Bro, seek it
want
out.
to-
I did the same thing. It is so worthwhile. It really is. Go,
Sweet.
man. Go.
It is a hole in my heart that I need to fill.
And I'd like to thank the chat also. Thank you guys for hanging out. Just an incredible amount of information and funny things that you're able to share with us that I appreciate greatly. The Outcast Creative says now eating our gargantuan steak.
We could flip a Flintstone car.
Yeah, well, that'll feed the whole family.
Have a gay old time.
Why not have a gay old time?
A yabba dabba do time.
Whenever,
Have a do time.
well, yeah. Whenever a Tarkasian baby cries, Jill is there. What James Caserta? What are you talking about? But thank
don't
you,
know.
James Caserta, for being
Tarkasians.
here.
What are
Also,
Tarkasians? What are
It's
Tarkasians?
so familiar, Tarkasian.
Yeah.
Why Tarkasian?
I have
We'll
this
find
thing
out
called the
later.
I have this thing called the internet here.
It's right. at
yeah,
your
right.
fingertips.
Yeah, we
It's on
got a
computers.
we have the library computer. Anyhow, Booger 414 says I will be in New Jersey this weekend, nowhere near Red Bank. And so thank you to Booger 414, Mr. Miles, James Caserta.
Tarkasian razor beast.
Thank you to Sentai Ranger Johnny for hanging out today. So sorry, Mr. Miles. As for me, I'm hanging tight. After hearing the news of Power Ranger alum Justin Nemo's cancer diagnosis. Oh, that's
Oh,
terrible.
no.
I hate cancer. Cancer sucks.
What a bold statement, Jill. I'm typically on the side of cancer. I enjoy it.
Yeah, see, I knew you were gonna say something like that. So now we gotta have a debate.
I'm talking about the astrological sign, of course, not the disease.
Of course you are.
Oh no, I'm so
Uh.
sorry. It's been a sad week for me. My dog passed away. He was about 13 years old. Long past his breed's life expectancy. Well,
Wow.
I'm sure he led such a long, wonderful life because of all the love and care that you gave him. I'm so
Right.
sorry.
And
sorry.
Burt Reynolds taught me that all dogs go to heaven. So
Oh, how sad. Come on, man.
Mhm.
what? They do. They
No,
go to
it's
heaven. It's a good time.
No, I know, but that whole story, of that actress, the little girl, the voice actress,
yeah.
the little girl, she like dies, and he went into a closed studio for like half an hour and had to deliver those lines where he responds to, Charlie, will I see you, or I'll see you in heaven. And he
Oh,
did that
my.
speech. Yeah, he did that in
God.
ISO in a studio.
This
She
is
had
Kidding! I
brand
had no
news.
idea she died during the
She
production.
is,
Oh yeah, she was
I-
like
as
6
I
and
remember,
murdered.
she was offed by her father.
Yeah, her
What?
father and mother. It was a murder suicide.
Oh,
There you
wow.
go.
We
That's
got to
really
start the stream with this shit next time because this is
It's
way
not a
more
good way to
interesting.
end.
Yeah, not the best
No.
way to
Oh,
wrap it
gee.
up.
We can
Yeah.
peel back the layers and be like, and also we remember her and her spirit. I didn't mean to bring up All Dogs Go to Heaven. I didn't
Well, but
realize
that's
it was going to be this.
I didn't
mean to
re-
We turned it
realize
dark
that.
side,
We're
man,
seeing
but
that someday, but now.
Anybody want to
Yeah.
talk about Poltergeist 3?
Well, I've always loved that movie, but I never knew the reality behind it. Thank you for teaching me. Gosh, that's really sad. But
Let's watch the
definitely needs to
Twilight
be
Zone
remembered.
movie.
Well, are we talking about movies that have tragedies in them?
Yes,
Yeah, we don't
that
have
is
to go in
yes.
that direction. You can still appreciate a film, even though
Yeah.
tragic.
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, and thanks, Captain Nutfinity.
Tragic in the context of the film. Not so much.
Oh, that is why I love you, Nala.
And Mr. Miles says, "Oh, I showed up at the end." Yeah, but thank you so much for being here. And Cam says, "Hold on, Clobby's gone. Oh no, I'm
Oh,
sorry to be the one to
Cam.
break the news to you, Cam. Yes, Clobby has passed. He suffered a heart attack and fell. And,
But he is being adored by family and friends. He's in a calmer, better place now. And the celebration of his life is what is most important. He's not gone
Yes,
as
and-
long as we remember him.
Lives with us and
And-
through us.
Right, and to that point, if you need to attend his memorial services and you can't do so in person, it will be live streamed. I think I put the link in earlier, but I need to re-find it again. And I'm gonna go collect that for just a moment. I think we talked to everybody except for Backkid. Are you back? Do you have something that you want to talk about before we go? To what are you doing this weekend? And is there anything you are doing online that you want people to know about?
Well, I'm not really doing anything online, and I don't really have any structural plans this weekend, unfortunately. But no, I'm just here to chill out with you guys. Thanks for inviting me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You sound a lot better now too.
Yep.
Kale.
And yeah, so I was going through the list of people who were in the chat. Who else was here today? I just wanted to say thank you to the Reluctant Dragon and the Phantasmagorium show. Is like the whole gang was here. Oh, actually, Cinema Gulp was here. I don't know. I think I might have missed saying hello to him.
Oh,
because we were having such a engaging
Rollicking
conversation. I
time.
think we had such a good time. I think I missed saying hi.
Don't
But
forget to
the gang
subscribe to
was all
Cinema
here.
Gulp. He's got the Blockbuster Bombs this weekend, talking about Titan AE and the Frighteners, if I'm not mistaken.
Ishtar.
Yes, and also thank you, Terrier, for the present earlier, and also to Eugene Burke. Thank you for that. And I'm gonna put Clabby's memorial service into the chat. I found it. I should have it
good.
on hand. Oh goodness. I'm not succeeding at copy pasting right at the second. There, got it. Whew. Man, no, it is a huge irreparable loss. He was a unique guy. No one was ever like him. So it was just incredible to have known him. And if you do want to honor him, the live stream will be on Sunday at 4 p.m. Central Time. So I'll be there, and so will a lot of his friends. And I'd also like to thank James Caserta for being here. Beethoven's landlady hated him. He has a son good authority, apparently.
Well, because Beethoven was hearing impaired and he had to pound on the keys, so it was very noisy.
Right. Yeah, and so he wasn't conscious of how loud he was being. So that makes sense.
I'm pretty sure he had an idea. Beethoven was kind of a dick.
Gorilla's Random Thoughts, thank you for hanging out. Let's see. Who else was here today? Oh, also today on the panel, we also had Max Redstone, who was really great, as well as Lance from the Outcast Creative.
Hells
for a
yes.
few minutes. Anybody else here that I forgot about? On the panel?
I think we're good.
Perk 130?
Herc
was here.
Flyboy was here. I missed Flyboy. I was in and out all the entire time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Penny had errands to do, chores and things. Lee Anthony Davis, FKHC 2000.
That's him.
Yeah, that guy. It's I think it's a hockey team or something. And then
The Reluctant Dragon. Fantastic.
Rob writes Gen X pop culture.
True story.
Yeah, check him out. Good stuff.
And just because it's fun to say, Booger 414.
Tony from Stark of Iron.
That's true.
Sort of Poopus.
Oh, Poopus was here. How did I miss Poopus?
You burr. And I was so glad that Max Redstone pointed him out and even gave him a little song.
Nice.
Your Muslim uncle is also here. And okay. His mom was kind enough to keep his toys that he accumulated, because a lot of mothers and parents they give away their kids' stuff at garage sales and things.
She's a true gem.
And also Franco Walker. Thank you for being such a phenomenal wrench on this channel. I appreciate you.
Franco.
More than you know.
Lee Anthony Daniels, keeping it real for all us sinners. Radioactive, who wants to remind us all about Crystal Pepsi. Thank you.
Right.
Keith E. Coke was always better with pizza.
Oh no, I think I missed out on saying hello to Keith E too, or maybe it was just so long ago I don't remember it anymore.
Well, and it has been, as DJ said, it's been a jumping chat, and thank you so much, Penny, for being here. I hope everything is refrigerated and put away in your pantries. Thank you, Senchai. Thanks, Donnie.
I think it's Sentai Ranger, Donnie, but I could be wrong.
You know what? Pronunciation has never been my forte. Or fort, if I want to say it the way that I prefer.
Nice.
Well, just
this is known.
Yeah, I just
this
thought of
sounds
the
like an
two-
Academy Award thank you speech.
No, I just thought of the two words that you.
I'd like to thank my
mispronounced.
agent.
But then I realized it might bug some people. Yeah.
And also, you know what? It's so amazing to be able to hang out with you guys, Tiger, Noladoc, Cat, PvP, and DJ Play Nice. Thank you so much for everybody else who was here. This is so great just to be able to share stories and talk nerd stuff. This is like one of the best ways to hang out in a food court and talk about nerd shit at a comic book or sci-fi convention. Thank you so much. I really
it is
appreciate
nice to be able to shoot the breeze about famished subjects.
Yeah.
You don't have that many people to do it with.
So this is rad. I really appreciate it, and thank you all.
I learned what a BSD doll was.
Yeah, me too.
BJD.
Yeah.
Oh, BJD.
Yeah, really.
BSMD.
Ball jointed doll. Easy.
Ball jointed doll. Okay.
They sound like a nightmare to repair. Matt G, thank you for being here. Taylor Swift, greater than Disney, Star Wars, and MCU, and Doctor Who. And yes, so I think that's everybody except for Suzanne. I got it all. I got everyone.
Suzanne! You're all that I wanted in a girl. You're all that I need in the world.
Has never been my strong word. Stolen.
Well, if there is one thing you enjoy doing, is taking notes from my diction.
All right,
Eugene
so-
Bird says
yeah.
frolics in 4 hours. Enjoy yourselves.
Right, Frolics in
Uh,
4 hours. That's a great point. Frolics at Doomcock's channel, Overlord DVD.
Yes.
He's closing in on what? How many subscribers? 340,000.
I don't know. Don't forget to wear your helmet. Anyway, I gotta go.
Overlord DVD. 340. Yeah, I got it right. All right, but I'm
340 people. Well, good for him.
Well,
on
I
his
gotta go too.
340th.
So can I play my closing
subscriber.
videos or not?
I hope. I was hoping.
Well, that's what I'm doing. And so thanks everybody for being here. I just want to remind everyone
Thank you for
that,
hosting.
that I'm not streaming on Tuesday. You're welcome. You know, I'd be going on longer if I could, but I can't. I gotta go. My kiddo has a summer camp. The bigger one, the smaller one is right here. And so
Summer
I've
camp.
got to go. Yeah, summer camp. Well, it's science camp. You know me. I gotta
Woo.
share the science. And well,
The mysteries of carbon.
yeah, he made a lava lamp.
Nice.
Wow.
Carbon or carbon dioxide?
Or carbonite.
I don't remember.
We are
He used
carbon-based
Alka-Seltzer.
life forms.
Is that mineral oil and wax?
You sound like Gwyneth Paltrow.
What?
It's goop.
So I guess I'll just play a few crazy videos and see you all next time.
Okay.
Yes, you
Have a
will.
good
Thank
one,
you so
guys.
much, Gil.
Bye.
Later, everyone.
Bye.
No, never give up, never surrender.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Don't you think you better check with me first?
Captain. Jim!
Accept what is happening between us.
I'm sure the captain would simply have said, forget it, Bones.
I wanted to keep this one a long time. He's pretty.
Liberty and freedom have to be more than just words.
All I ask is a tall ship and a star to
Getting cut off for some reason. I got to figure that out. Oh my goodness! Wait a minute. I have a updated membership video. If you guys don't mind, just a second, I want to upload it.
Yeah. Ba, 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 ba. Ba-doom, ba-doom.
Yeah, it's uploading right
ba-doom.
now. Processing.
Are we still live?
Yeah, we're live. We
Yeah.
have business. We're up.
Learn all that is learnable. And the ways our differences combine to create meaning and beauty.
It has always been easier to destroy than to create.
May we together become greater than the sum of both of us.
Well, now you have something new to think about. Carry on.
Oh yeah, one more thing. If you decide you want to stay on YouTube and hang out, I love to listen to Bird of Prey 5. He's having his Friday bed life right now. Otherwise,
All right, move along. Done. Stop it. Get off of the things. Go outside. Get some food. It's like, you know, it's a time of day where you live. Go do something. Shut up, Snoopy. I don't care. You smoke too much. Let's go. Let's go adventure. Let's go explore.
See you around the galaxy.